Well, after a month away, we're back once again with Premier Endurance League as we head now to the easterly direction of Australia. Last time out, we're out at Mount Panorama, Bathurst. Tonight, we're in for round 2 at Adelaide Street Circuit. It's Hamish Runner here alongside Dean Biggles as we go racing for sprint round action tonight in Premier Endurance League for the very first time. Adelaide Street Circuit, what can it bring to us? Well, it's bound to be chaos, it's bound to be a little bit controversial, and for the next 2 hours of racing, split across 2 60-minute races, we're going to see who the king of the streets is as we go racing here in Adelaide. Dean, it's great to be back once again, and after the dominant performance last time out by Kane Ryder of Team Max Boost at Bathurst, we'll see if he can master the streets of Adelaide as we go racing tonight with 2 60-minute races.
Yeah, sprints and sprints there. Thank you very much, Hamish. Looking forward to this one. To the streets of Adelaide. Adelaide comes alive in 1985, actually. If you're going to go back to Formula One days and in the first Formula One race in Australia. Of course, it's gone to Melbourne, but once again, we're here in South Australia. And I love it because growing up as a kid in the 80s, this was what I looked forward to when I was seeing Anthony Senna, Alain Prost, Nigel Mansell. But tonight, we're going to have a whole new breed of drivers in different classes as well too, Hamish.
We are indeed. Elite class drivers and challenger class drivers will do battle across the limited series here this evening as we go racing here in Adelaide. Of course, for modern news about this circuit, there is going to be a layout change coming the way as the Australian Motorcycle Grand Prix has moved to Adelaide starting next year. It will finish up at Phillip Island this year and move to Adelaide for 2027. There we are, round 2 tonight. We've still got 3 rounds to go after this evening. We'll make the trip across the pond to the US of A next time out, April 12th for Road America, then to Circuit de la Sarre for Le Mans, and then to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps for the final round of the season in a couple of months' time. But the fact of the matter is, chaos was brought to us out at Bathurst, and I don't think it's going to be coming any lighter here tonight in Adelaide. And I think with sunny skies, street-laid tarmac, and concrete barriers surrounding us here this evening, it's going to be maximum pressure across the night, Dean. And I think for these drivers, it's going to be maximise, figure out how you're going to have to really push on this evening and how you're going to strategize around the different racing format of those 2 1-hour races and where you're going to find yourself. We shouldn't see any tyre changes tonight, but keeping it clean, I think, is going to be the main name of the game.
Keeping it clean is always the name of the game, isn't it, when it comes to motor racing and especially in multiple sprints there. A couple of new graphics. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in at the moment. We got at least 40 or so plus watching there, Hamish. I know you're a bit of a fan. You are a bit of a voice, probably one of the voices of Australian motorsports, and thank you very much there. As Dan the Man sets the fastest time up there at the moment. Little yellow flag next to his name, off-track excursions, but he didn't do that during his qualifying lap, which is a 1:17.94. The first man into the second man into the 17 clubs. My apologies on that one, but geez, they're probably almost as quick as a Formula One car in 2026 at the moment there, Hamish.
Last time Formula One was here back in 1996. Probably similar speeds maybe able to be achieved in these modern GT cars to what although it was a slightly different layout that they ran in Formula One back in those days, but still, maybe similar lap times perhaps. Just to give you the rundown on the performances of last time out at Bathurst. If you missed it the last time we were racing, Kane Ryder, of course, take home the race win ahead of Owen Coleman on the podium. Daniel McCrowan on the podium with his teammate from Teams Max Booster back there in P3. Jesse Butler in P4 to Brock Caddy, Richard Mayer, Ed Adcock and Stephen Tonkin. Then we ended out our top 10 with Peter Baxter winning it for the Challenger class ahead of Ben Wilkes. Just outside of them we had Gavin Simpson, Daniel Piper, Vinnie Nguyen, Nick Clydesdale and Wade Reynolds made up our top 15 last time out. Now, tonight on the road, we've got 53 cars ready to do battle across the streets of Adelaide this evening. Our race controllers, of course, will be Scott Barton and Tim Lawson once again. And we've still got 3 3/4 minutes of qualifying left to run for these elite class drivers here tonight. They had split qualifying across this half-an-hour session. The first 15 minutes has come and gone for those challenger class drivers, and there was a little 5-minute intermission in between. And for these final 15 minutes, it's been all for the elite class drivers. And the important thing tonight, Dean, if you've not ran heat race broadcasts before, drivers have to finish their lap before the 15 minutes is up. They will not get another chance to finish their lap if they start it within around about a lap time's time of the 15 minutes. So if they're out there right now on an out lap, they'll probably get one more lap in. But if they want to get one more lap in, they're going to have to get out there within the next 30 seconds. Otherwise, they're going to be locked out of qualifying and the opportunity to better their laps here at Adelaide.
Thanks for reminding me of that one, Hamish, because I always forget. I always forget, actually, because, we do so much per week. I mean, because I think you're remembering. And it's always like, it gets me always confused a little bit, like, do they have to end up there? Thank you very much. So when the timer ticks, that's it. So if you haven't got that lap done, even if you're about 2/10 off the start-finish line, forget it. iRacing and the gods up above in the virtual world says you're done and dusted, so get across the line in time if you can. You don't have to, it's not about this waiting to complete a lap. That's it. So thank you very much for that, Hamish. So Daniel McCorrin and Kane Ryder are battling for top of the timesheets at the moment there, and the rest of the drivers, it seems to be at least in the top 5 or so, are in the pit lane saying they can't improve. So this is it, battling for the front 2 rows, you'd have to say, at the moment there, Hamish.
Well, we know that there are some drivers out there further back in the field at this stage who could get some better times, and obviously John Trott of One Performance Racing, we know what sort of pace he has. He hasn't quite maximised on qualifying in previous rounds of the series from the start of this season and even to late last season as well. But what he can do is he maximises under racing conditions. He's one of the more consistent drivers out there and has some great race pace on board this OPR machine. Matt Schmidtke has just gone better on his time, by the way, the position in behind, now up to P11. But for Trott, he's got to try and put this full lap together on board this Mustang. He's completed 10 laps thus far in qualifying. His previous lap appeared to have been more so a slowdown lap, around about a minute 20.47, so this could be a push for him on this lap time by. He will not have enough time on the clock to set one more time, so this is it for the OPR Mustang with John Trott. This is his final run to the finish line now, and his final qualifying time to go on the board. Can he improve? Can he get himself towards the top end of the top 10 as he exits the final corner and runs past the crowd of punters here in Adelaide? He crosses the line. What's the lap time going to be? Well, it hasn't counted, so I'm going to assume it wasn't a good lap, and he hasn't got enough time. And I don't know if many drivers actually realise tonight, Dean, that in fact they have to finish it before 15 minutes is up, because they're not used to racing in heat race conditions here in PEL. They're used to the 2-hour, more endurance style races where 2 1-hour races means they're going to get cut off, and I don't know if John realises that at this stage. Yeah, dollar short, as Martin Brundle would say as well too, and my father would say long before probably Martin Brundle was born. So there you have it, and I don't know if any drivers are going to be improving with about 3 seconds to go. Bang, there it is. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Qualifying Mississippi is over here in Adelaide. It is gone by in a flash, and it is Purcell on pole for the Challenger class here tonight. McCrowan has claimed pole position on board his Corvette for the elite class and overall as well. And the top 13 cars made up of all elite class drivers. No warm-up before race 1 here tonight. The warm-up session will become in between race 1 and race 2. Instead, we're getting straight into the gridding for tonight's events. And for some drivers out there, they want to try and maximise. But in terms of Max, well, Team Max Boost, the front row lockout with Daniel McCrowan and Kane Ryder on P1 and P2. We've got Owen Coleman and Greg Barber of One Performance Racing starting in behind them. Greg, with an unfortunate result last time out at Bathurst, he's got speed. He'll be hoping to maximise here this evening. Kurt Chapman, Bradley Hudswell will start on the third row of the grid in behind them with Milan Payrak alongside Scott Rankin of Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport for our top 8. It'll then be Matt Webber and John Trott for an all-Mustang fifth row of the grid, starting ahead of Matt Schmidtke and Brock Caddy for our top 12 here this evening. Ed Adcock will line up alongside the Challenger class pole sitter Brandon Purcell for our top 14, as we'll then find Jesse Butler and Luke King starting in behind them. James Mason, Alfonso Latea make up the top 17 cars, with Vinny Nguyen lining up alongside Christian Wells in behind them on row 10. To row 11 we go, and we find Daniel Piper and Daniel Fritz, and all Daniel 11th row of the grid to make up the top 22, with Greg Heaney and Martin Lofthouse starting for the top 24. Last week's Challenger race winner Peter Baxter starts alongside John Akers of Riot Sim Racing here tonight, as we'll find Mark Foster and Tristan McLaren for the top 28 cars on the 14th row of the grid. For our top 30 we find Wade Reynolds alongside crowd favourite Rook Oystra for 15th row of the grid, with Bobby Camo and Brant Tucker for the top 32 in qualifying. To Andrew Neal and Matthew Crozier for the top 34. We'll then find Jesse McMenamin and Martin Hallinan in behind them for our 18th row of the grid. To row 19, it's Sean Benici and Braden O'Loughlin. And to the 20th row of the grid to make up our top 40, we find Gavin Simpson and Dale Atkins here tonight. And we've still got 13 to go. Thorne Weggett and Nicholas Schmalenberg for JWM Sim Sports will start for the top 42, with Matthew Carrig and Ben Brook for our top 44 on the 22nd row of the grid. To row 23, Jake Tebetta alongside Ben Gorringe further back in the field, with Michael Cullen and Travis Azzopardi for an all Lamborghini 19th row of the grid. 24th row of the grid. Row 25, Josh Swain and Jason Adams in for the top 50. To Jacob Hughes and Stefan Melly for the top 52 cars. Glenn Crellin will be car number 53 and the final car on the grid for our race controllers of Scott Barton and Tim Lawson. 53 cars. Not many kilometres to cover 53 cars tonight, team. It's going to be a tight one through turn 1 and turn 2, of course. It's a full lap behind the pace car. And don't worry about the timer at the moment on the race info at the top end of the screen. That will reset when we come across the line to begin lap 1 momentarily. But everyone out there at the moment is just preparing themselves for what is to come. And of course, off of that longer pre-race briefing that they're now giving to the drivers here tonight, there's a lot of warnings going out to them. Obviously, it's, of course, the coming off of Bathurst and knowing how chaotic it was for both the Limited and the Open Series. We're coming into Adelaide, which is, let's be real, it's the Australian Long Beach or Belle Isle or Chicago, or coming up next season, St. Petersburg. It's a track that's going to bring chaos. It's going to bring incidents ultimately. I'd be surprised if we did not get a safety car across both races this evening. And I think we'd be hard-pressed to not see the safety car tonight, more than likely, Dean. I think drivers are going to need a tow more than likely within the first 10 minutes is probably the highest likelihood across both races tonight. But even across 60 minutes, there's opportunity for drivers to make mistakes. And the important thing to remember as well is, Dean, the pit exit here is a very difficult one. It comes right out onto the racing line as you're entering into the braking zone at turn 1. So drivers who are coming down the straight are going to have to be cautious of drivers filtering out of pit lane, and those coming out of pit lane are going to have to be cautious of fast traffic coming their way down the straight towards turn 1 as well.
And 50 plus 52, 53 odd drivers going to be lining up at the moment. That's why it's taking a little longer, of course, so everybody to load in for the following time. That's get your stretch there, get a little bit of hydration. You're not going to be moving in your racing rig for the period of our first feature heat race, of course, before we move on to our second heat race. And on top of that one, just because there's going to be so much action on the screen, we're going to have a little picture-in-picture as well, too. So not only am I going to do a little production work there, Hamish is also a fantastic producer as well and broadcaster behind the scenes at Hamish. We're going to try to cover as much as we can in the chaotic opening, per se, here of Adelaide.
Ultimately, the race start is going to be pure chaos. Let's be real with ourselves here. It is going to be chaos off the start line. You put 53 cars on the streets of any city, and you see how much backing up and banking there can start to be happening between cars as well. Right, the pace car's about to get ready to set off. A couple of cars have missed the start here. Matthew Carrig, Travis Azapoli, and Packets Hughes has missed the start as well. That's Jacob Hughes further back for the Sim Racing in Focus podcast car out there as well. The pace car will get us started here. So, of course, McCrone and Ryder with impeccable pace last time out of Bathurst. I mean, they were really the talk of the town. I'm interested tonight to know what the 97 entry of Owen Coleman can do for Digital Motorsport team. What can he bring us with the skill set that he showed at Bathurst? He was so close to a race win. Do we think he can take on those Team Max Boost boys tonight, Dean, or do we think it's going to be a massive uphill challenge for him to try and topple the two of them? Maybe one that he might need a couple of Sherpas out there and some other drivers like the Kurt Chapman and Greg Barber around him who could maybe help him just battle them and make it a little triple threat between those guys of three different teams.
He's a Kiwi in the mix of the Aussies too, so yeah. And put it this way, I think the Kiwis are battling the Indians in the World Cup international T20 cricket, so not bad for a nation that has probably less registered cricket voters than all of India. So There you go, my friend. Never count out a Kiwi.
As we roll down the back straight, of course, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well. Here this evening on the Premier Endurance League channel. Help support the series going forward. We've, of course, got the Open coming to Adelaide in a couple of weeks' time, where there's a little bit of weather rumours going around that race of what possibly could be coming for that one. So be sure to keep a key eye out on that. And just a quick shout out as well, obviously, to our sponsors of the series leading into tonight's race, of course, Dash Offroad, the 4x4 parts and accessories store. As the title sponsor, they continue to support Premier Endurance League, to the safety car sponsor as well of Sudspeed Gloves. You can find them over at www.sudspeed.com. You can go over to www.dashoffroad.com.au as well. And to the minor sponsors of the series too, Kibby Graphics, of course. They've got some branded clothing, car wraps and commercial graphics available to you at kibbygraphics.com.au. And to the Sim Racing in Focus podcast as well. You can find them over at major podcast providers to use Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even on YouTube for video podcasts as well. But as we ride towards pit entry where the pace car will come in, and to the final corner as well, we've got exterior shots of the front end of town. We ride on board with the Challenger class pole sitting here tonight as well of Brendan Purcell, further back in the field. Pace car in, green flag's about to drop in Adelaide as we go racing in the city of churches for the first time in Premier Endurance League. 60 minutes on the clock. And how long are we going to last here on the streets of Adelaide? Through the first two corners we ride. McCrowan looks clean through there. That's going to be a slowdown for the Porsche crossing the chicane. That was Brendan Purcell, the one we're riding on board with the Challenger class. Pole sit here tonight. That's an early slowdown for him. That'll be early positions drop. The beauty for him is, though, he can serve it all the way to the exit of this little staircase section here, as we've already had contact further back as Pete Baxter, Daniel Fritz, both those guys are out of coming together, and they've both ended up in the wall.
There it is, the picture as well. Thank you very much for capturing that action as well too. See, great work here in the Premier Endurance Racing League. As Hamish got that caught there, but not too much action at the front. Actually, everybody smooth operating through there. Carlos Sainz would be very happy with that. Practically, put it this way, at the moment there, Hamish, half of this track in Adelaide is covered with dots of cars. That's how many we have here this evening.
Right, and I'm just looking back at this incident that happened between Fritz and Baxter, and it just looked like that Fritz just got a little bit far away from himself here. A bit overzealous under brakes. I mean, he had about a whole suburb between him and Baxter, and he's just locked it up straight in the corner. And Baxter with a heavy contact. That could be a blown engine in that Porsche. Remember, that's a fully rear-engine car. That could have some heavy damage on it down there, down at turn 4. And in fact, he's had to tow back to pit lane. So Baxter already on the back foot here tonight as battles continue on.
Didn't get too wide through there just soon there, gentlemen. But you know what? They're race drivers. You can tell them one thing. They're not going to agree with the other.
Oh, that's right. Exactly right. So battles continuing here to push on. McCrowan leading well at the top end of town. He's sitting just in a nice and tidy position here this evening for the race leader. And we watch along with James Mason back here in the 777 and Jesse Butler as well, as they battle the way for position just outside of the top 10. With, we can see here that Matt Webber's just starting to hold up this train a little bit now with John Trott, Schmidtke, Adcock and co in behind him. We mentioned the sort of race pace that Trott shows as Adcock here in the Acura goes for a big bomb up the inside of the Lamborghini, and Matt Schmidtke gets it done down at the roundabout and now follows on in through the entry to the park. And now he moves his way up a position in this race. It's a good move there from Ed Adcock. He now finds himself inside of the top 10 as McCrowan will begin at lap 3 for us here at Adelaide. We've managed to survive 3 laps without getting a safety car. We have had a couple of cars knocked off the totem pole, including Peter Baxter, who is now trapped in pit lane for the moment, whilst he waits for that car to tow back and get fixed up before he continues on for the next 50-odd minutes. Bradley Hudswell as well in this Audi. It's not many times, Dean, we get to see Audis anymore in GT cars.
Yeah.
It's great, though, when we do see them, because it feels special when we finally get to see this
Audi. I love a big accident back here too, man. There's a huge accident back here, my friend. Yeah. Bit of a track blocker, maybe-ish. What are we looking at here? Jeez, we've got Christian Wells.
Oh, no, and it's still... it's compounding further up the road as well, Dean. Yeah. More cars getting locked in together. Brant Tucker's been trapped here amongst the sequencing of chaos that continues to flow through this whole field, but Luckily for the guys at the front, they are kept nice and tidy and away from all the chaos.
That's what happens. That's why you'll be at the front. That's why qualifying is very, very important when you have large grids. Because unlike oval races, perhaps you can't just like slice and dice your way through the field there. You've got to be in position. And there was a ton of cars involved in that one, actually. We'll probably try to get in a little bit of an evaluation of what's happening at the moment. But then again, we don't ever want to be living in the past, my friend. We want to be living in the future. So we can't be living in replays, looking at incidents over and over again, because so much action still occurring on track.
Exactly right. We're right on board as well with Greg Barber, who's just ahead here of Kurt Chapman. So these front-end battles are continuing to heat up. Chapo caught on the outside of the OPR car. Gives him all the room that is available to him to try and hold him off there as they run through the staircase and up towards the long run down the back straight, of course. I mean, Adelaide brings so many memories for many older motorsport fans out there through the years, as there is Bradley Hudswell dealing with his slowdown. Well, no, I'm including myself in this list as well. My earliest memory,
mate, because I saw the first Adelaide race. Yeah, all right.
No, what I mean is I'm including this in my own, for myself as well, for the factor of my first memories of Adelaide come back to the likes of Toka Race Driver and Toka Race Driver 2, obviously available in Australia as V8 Supercars Race Driver. And just remembering racing around here in that opening race of V8 Supercars 2 in the better electrical Falcon, and you go back to pit lane, the car's all destroyed, and your Scottish crew chiefs yelling at you for wrecking the car.
Oh, how about this one?
It's all happening, though. It's all happening back here, and I'd say right now that if any of these guys get some wrecks happening, they may cop some damage on board these cars and just maybe get yelled at, and maybe for a call to hire Scottish crew chief, they get on board for themselves. But for James Mason, he looks to continue running well here. Bradley Hudswell off that slowdown that he was serving onto the back straight. He now tucks up behind Kurt Chapman with Barbs ahead of them as well. Ironically, same podium drivers we had last week in different orders right now. McCrowan, Ryder and Coleman, the top three here in Adelaide.
We got a chance for the lead as well, Tim, my friend.
Yeah, we do.
Yep, we do.
No, yeah, we do. Kane Ryder's come back. Yeah, he's got a slowdown. McCrowan had a slowdown.
Yeah.
Or this is team orders.
Wow.
Could be team play here, maybe to let Ryder go through knowing that he's leading the championship.
That's very interesting.
I'd say they're very, very early point there to do that.
Well,
it's a very, very early point to be doing that, though.
I mean, max boost. I mean, obviously, if it was Max Verstappen, it'd be like let your teammate through. But no, in Kane Ryder, he's up one place there, so switcheroo between the top two, my friend. But is that going to bring Coleman into play? You were speaking about it earlier in the show, isn't it?
We know the sort of pace that Coleman showed last time out when he was racing at Bathurst. Obviously, led the majority of the way and had a good battle at one stage with Kane Ryder and Daniel McCrowan last time out as well. We've got Luke King with a bit of damage further back at this stage as well, thanks to the update of SDK. He's just traversing at the moment on the grass of the outside of the second to last corner. He's trying to find his way back to pit lane, but he's got to safely get across the track. Just keeping an eye on him. He has done so, which is good to see. But yeah, for Owen Coleman on board this Mustang, I mean, I think knowing the variation of this race can bring, right, and knowing the shake-up that this style of race can bring as battles continue amongst the midfield here tonight, I think he just wants to try and maximise, get as many points as he can this evening. I mean, even if it doesn't necessarily have to mean he has to push for the win in race 1, he might solidify P3 and then go on to race 2 and say, right, now I'm going to try and go for the race win. There's no grid inversion. They're going to be a continuous grid from how they finish in race 1. That's how they'll start in race 2. So for Coleman, I think if he can maximise and just solidify a P3 here tonight in race 1, sets himself up well for race 2, where he might push on to try and claim a P2 or a P1, without knocking himself out too early. Because ultimately, because of that continuous grid, Dean, I think the onus on consistency and holding position in race 1, if you're starting at the front end of town, is more important than trying to fight your way forward, because you want to try and get as good a start position for race 2, where there's still an hour to go, and you can just kind of keep going on your merry way and how you're going. I've just noticed, though, slowdown penalty for Kane Ryder and Daniel McCrowan through turn 1, turn 2. So both those guys are going to have to serve that now. That might give Owen Coleman the race lead when that happens, as Matt Webber continues to battle here with John Trott. Gives him no room at all. Trott loses it. Oh, gaggle of Mustangs into turn 3. And Trott ends up in the wall. That was a very aggressive block from Matt Webber. Maybe a call in a race control for that one, quite possibly.
Yep. And that's we can't unfortunately look at those incidents, but here it is. Oh, squeezed, my friend. Wow. That's Coleman and Daniel. That's a battle for P2 in class up the road there. Look at this in the background as well, too. Kirk Chapman and Greg Barber up on the inside there. Squeezy, Deezy. That's what it's all about. Trading paints, my friend, not the software, but the battles here in the Premier Endurance Racing League here. The Dash Offroad GT3 Championship there. It's Adelaide, my friend. It's come alive in 2026.
I'm absolutely alive to a pure maximum elation for some drivers out there. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, last time by for Kane Ryder, 118.93 is now the fastest lap on the road. Of course, the slowdown, he goes slightly slower. That has kept Owen Coleman within grasp at this point in time. Greg Barber at this stage, P5. Another slowdown though for Kurt Chapman. That's going to cost him a position to Greg Barber because he has to try and serve this, but he can't block him as he's trying to serve it though. So Barbs is just trying to find his way through. But the problem for Chapo is if he doesn't serve it by the time he gets to the straight, he serves it now, lets him through. That's good to see from Chapman. If he hadn't have served it by the time he got to the straight, Barber would eat him up anyway because he wouldn't be able to go full peg down the straight. Otherwise, he'd be getting a black flag for himself down here. There's another slowdown as well for Scott Rankin. He's just served it. Tristan McLaren as well with a slowdown further down the order as well. Of course, with 53 cars in the field here tonight, there's already been a couple of cars who've gone a lap or so down, including Greg Heaney, Christian Wells, Peter Baxter has gone a lap down at this stage as well. Stefan Melli further down the order as well is now a lap down on the race leaders, and Jake DeBetta, Milan Payrak, Gavin Simpson and Mark Foster are all currently a lap down on the race leaders as Dale Atkins comes into pit lane. Interesting point for you tonight as well, then 80% fuel tank capacity for these drivers here tonight. Wow. So it means that actually, hang on, let me think. Was it actually 80? I have to remember now because I helped him set up the session. I think it was between 60 and 80. So it was between 60 and 80. It might have been 65%. So that's going to offset some pit stops. Some cars, though, are going to run better than others. Don't be surprised if we see the Porsche tonight actually manage to get an extra lap in over a couple of other cars because of its fuel-saving capabilities out there. So with that 65% fuel tank capacity across the race, what that'll mean is they only need one stop, of course, to get home. They won't need tyres because there won't be enough fuel to cover the tyres in that stop, as that's a car exiting stage left down there at turn 5.
Get out of the picture.
Was that Martin? I think that might have been Martin. No, Martin Lofthouse has gone off at turn 1, so I'm not even sure who that was. Someone has gone off down there, but...
yeah, it is Martin. Yeah. It's Martin. He backed off a little bit. I think you're right. He called it there perfectly. Well, you do this every day, Hamish. You're well aware of that situation. And thank you. If there's something we miss out there in the chat, let us know. We'll try to do our absolute best in this first race. Remember, they have another one coming up behind this one. So it's two sprint races essentially tonight. And we'll see how it pans out at the moment.
Oh! Sorry, I've just noticed as well, Sean Bonici's just been into the wall on the entry to the back straight. This is now putting right in the clutches of Jason Adams, Martin Lofthouse and co. as they battle away now for supremacy towards the roundabout corner down here. So that's all happening for them. Andrew Neal as well has just been involved in an incident further behind them too here tonight. So let's see what's happened to him. This is at turn 1-2 for the elite class driver on board that Lamborghini. And has it happened maybe down at turn 3 that he's had this incident?
Let's see here and look, keep an eye out.
He hit the tyre barrier. He hit the inside tyre barrier and then continued. That's really weird. That is really, really weird. And then continuing on from that, we saw Lofthouse was in amongst this little pack, and then this has happened down at the hairpin down here. He had the Mustang on his inside. Runs to the outside, or is it just misclassifying crashes for me? It's misclassifying crashes. That's spectacular. Yeah. Thank you, SDK. Oh, actually, no, he did. He ran wide, but yes, it's misclassifying them as worse crashes. What they actually are is Chapman continues here to push on. 6th place at the moment for the 916. Good to see from him. You know, he's running at this point in time. Matt Schmidtke continues to battle at the back end of the top 10 as well. Brennan Purcell continues to lead for the elite for the Challenger class to Jesse McMenamin and Brant Tucker on that podium at this stage.
We want to see some conditions out there this evening for the weather. I guess that's conditions for the track at the moment, the Hamish, and I don't know. I mean, Adelaide weather. I'm in City of Churches. I haven't really been down to Adelaide too much in my life.
Well, What I can tell you is the track is warm, 25 degrees ambient temperature, but 44 degrees track temp. It is.
So like,
it
like a Queensland.
That's Pete Baxter. That's Pete Baxter in the wall. And Matt Schmecky's run straight into him off the exit of turn 2. Yep. What has happened to Peter Baxter? So he parked up the wrong way on board that Porsche.
Yeah, that was crazy, my friend. You might want to get a little idea on that picture-in-picture at the moment, so keep an eye on what's happening.
I'm having a look. So
with the rest of the field live still.
Yeah, this is what happened. This could be a safety car. Oh, one of the right cars.
Wow.
Makes oh my God. That is such bad luck.
It's a bit of a track blocker,
for Pete
isn't it?
Baxter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just watch this POV. He's sat here. He's waiting to turn back
pit
around.
Stops too for the leaders.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Pit stops are all going to. Yeah. So they're all in. I feel we may be getting a safety car here because of this moment. Yeah, because all the front runners are coming in. So Pete was just sitting here, all minding his own business at turn 2, and inevitably we will see. Matt Schmidtke come through and make contact with him.
Blocked here. So, well, I'll keep an eye on the drivers that are live, and you can keep an eye on the picture-in-picture and have a look at that little incident as well too. So they're coming in and out there. So we have a new race leader that hasn't gone in the pit road, and we have three drivers in fact that haven't gone down pit road. So Bradley Hudswell will lead this race. James Mason, Brock Cadeye, and Kane essentially on pit stops is leading this race. But however, we've still got a bit to go there in the pink machine there for our pace car. That's the track blocker, right?
Yep. That's the thing that's holding those cars back is that safety car holding them behind him. Brandon Purcell at this stage is leading the Challenger class to this point. He's up into the top 10, but he hasn't come into pit lane. So Ryder, Coleman, McCrone, they took the advantage. They took the free pit stop at this point of the race, and I don't really see a reason as to why other drivers may not have come in just yet. At that 65% fuel limitation, they should have enough to get home from here with this safety car.
Yeah, it's going to stretch it out, isn't it? Absolutely. Yeah. The Speed safety car, proud sponsor, that's going to be very interesting. So I'll chuck up onto the graphics at the moment, chucking the pit stops essentially, who's taken a pit stop and who hasn't taken a pit stop. Now those drivers at the moment there, Hamish, that haven't taken a pit stop, can they go the entirety of this first race?
I think, so those without pit stops, no, they can't. Right. 65% fuel limitation will not allow them to go 1 hour. Even with, they would need a lot of safety cars, right, to cut down on the amount of laps they're doing to get them to the end of this race. They're gambling on that no stopper, obviously, of wanting a lot of safety cars to get them to the end. This safety car period will probably cut out around about maybe 5-10 minutes at most. It's still not going to be enough with that 65% fuel limitation. I think the people that have just pitted is a brilliant plan, because they're going to be able to get to the end now. Those that have just pitted are going to be able to get to the end. We're not going to see any tyre changes in terms of optimal strategy tonight. We may see some drivers taking tyres at some stage, but we're not going to see tyre changes on the optimal strategy, because ultimately you don't need another set to make another hour in this race. You only have to make 1 hour. So because you don't need to go another hour, you don't need to... Your tyres are going to run out by the end of the race, pretty much. So there's really no reason to take them in terms of a strategic game plan. I can see the dice roll and the thought process of those front runners for that, but realistically, they should have come in under this safety car. It was a free pit stop. They got it under yellow flag conditions. There was no point staying out and risking having to pit under green flag, where they're going to get knocked back a peg and knock down the order a little bit as well. There we saw the schedule coming up next for you, April 12th, Road America, for round 3.
States, mate. We're going on the States. Yeah. We're going to go over to the Americas.
Yep.
Then we're going to go back to Europe, of course, for El France, Le Mans. I've just done Le Mans 6 hours earlier today, actually. And then, of course, Spa. Wow. Eau Rouge, mate. Do you lift or not lift? That'd be the question.
Oh, for Radion? No.
Erosion
foot to the
Radion,
floor.
the Red River.
Foot to the floor
It'll be the Red River if you
foot
get
to
it
the
all wrong,
floor.
mate, because, chuck that car too deep and
foot to the
you're
floor, foot to the floor through Erosion Radion, foot to the floor through No Name, foot to the floor through Who On, and foot to the floor.
It's the
through
reason why
Baltimore.
Hamish doesn't drive anymore. Because
I do.
That's what he's done in the past.
Never lift.
Never
That's what I say. Never lift.
You never lift. Never. You gonna smoke a cigar where you say that? You never lift, never surrender.
No, I'm not going to smoke a cigar while I say that.
Like a win.
Maybe
Hamish Churchill.
maybe a nice woody scotch alongside me, perhaps. Maybe a nice cigar. Never lift, never break, full throttle.
Full throttle. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Of course, 60 watching out there. We love you all, and we appreciate it. This track map is absolutely stacked here in Adelaide, full of drivers. Now, we know we've been following all those actions up the top there. We try to capture as much of the actions that we can through the whole field here this evening. And trust me, there's a lot of drivers, so we can't point the cameras all at the right place. Trust me, we probably do a better job than what F1 does because, they've only got how many cars now? Well, 22 cars to follow. We got almost triple that, don't we? So I don't think they'll be able to handle that. But look at the class leaders at the moment. So we got Brendan Purcell. He's the man that's leading in the Challenger class. And then go up to the Elite class is led by Bradley Hudswell. So, but how's this for James Mason, my friend? 15 places up. I mean, could you write that in the script? 15
places up, but ultimately for nothing for James Mason. Now, I think unless there is maximum chaos behind him, that causes another speed safety car period for us, or he can run away. Ultimately, I think the 15 positions are actually for nothing. I think he will drop positions in this race because of the fact he hasn't taken this free pit stop, and I don't think the gamble's worked for them. I think with the fact that we've lost, 5 to 10 minutes underneath this safety car, that has only helped those people who have come into pit lane and taken that stop on lap 11 in this race. Think about it. We've been doing 3 laps under safety car speed, barely using any fuel, and it's wasting a lot more time. We're averaging 2.5 minute lap times at 3 laps. Well, do the maths. We're currently up to 6.5 minutes. Actually, no more than that, 7.5 minutes being ran. So, speed safety car pulls away. The safety car period will end, but 7.5 minutes, it's a long time to lose in terms of full race pace running. And it's only going to help those who've already come into pit lane for their free pit stops at this point in time. What can our class leaders do, though, to push forward? Bradley Hudswell leads the way for the elite class. Has he thrown away a top 5? Or does he know something that we don't? And for Brandon Purcell, well, has he thrown away a Challenger class race win as well by not coming into pit road? Only time will tell if their strategies are going to pay off for them, being that they've decided to take track position over the possibility of not needing to pit again to get these cars home in this race. As we ride on board with Hudswell towards the final corner. And the race leader will get us up to green flag. Once again, the streets of Adelaide are screaming with sports car action. As we run down towards turn 1 with Hudswell on board the Audi. Does well through turn 1 and 2. With the beamer of Mason in behind. Slow down for Caddy. Slow down for Coleman. And a slow down for Vinnie Nguyen. That's going to give McCrone the position back on Coleman. As Coleman's gone round to contact with McCrone. Contact with McCrone down there at Coleman. That there is a heartbreaking moment for Owen Coleman, who's had to tow back to pit lane. And ultimately now it's reset time for him going forward in this race. That's a real shame.
That's because we have a stack up at the moment there. Kirk Chapman on the back there of Greg Barber. One Performance Racing versus the ATX Revolution. He's going to send it to the inside. Yes, he will, my friend. He's learnt from Daniel Ricciardo, perhaps. Last late breakers.
Well, Chapo's getting more and more confident now that he's joined this new team at AITX Revolution E-Racing, and he's doing a hell of a job right now to hang on to position up here at the top end of town. Of course, previously a Project 36, where he raced for quite a few years and has now moved on to a team that is connected to that team, of
We got
course,
the Project
by a
36 in the
friendship.
chat too, so that we're attention to
That's
that one
Brendan.
right there.
That's Brendan Griffiths in the chat.
Yep, Chooch, my friend. G'day, Chooch. Good to see you out there. Thank you very much for the kind comments. Love to see you out there racing. I do see Chooch out there racing, of course, on the Australian media across the board there, and on the Australian platforms. And Chooch is getting quicker day by day, as well as many of the other drivers here. But who can catch Bradley at the moment in the lead by about almost one and change, my friend, in this race?
Well, ultimately for Bradley, right, how far can he go before he has to come into pit lane?
Yeah.
Because ultimately he's going to give up 30-odd seconds when he comes into pit lane. He has to build a 30-second gap back to Kane Ryder in P4. Knowing the sort of pace that Kane Ryder has, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that.
But does he have to be?
He's only 10%. Well, Kane won't need to. Kane's taking his fuel at a 65% fuel tank capacity. That was a guy on the side of the road then. Who was that? That's Martin Hallinan, who's just had to tow back to pit lane. But yeah, at a 65% fuel tank capacity, they should easily be able to make it now. I mean, we've got 35 minutes to go. The caution has allowed them to get home.
It has. It could have been a good strategy. We don't know. We've seen cars also just nurse their way across the line there thinking, oh, damn, I have enough fuel. Don't have enough fuel. We don't know how the situation's going to pan out. But it is what it is. You'll find out, obviously, ultimately, at the end of this race. And, of course, one more race to come after this one. So it ain't over yet. Barney's got that flag to wave twice in this segment here.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets paid twice because he has to wave the flag.
He probably waves it better
over.
than Tim Cook did that time in Formula One. So I mean, we'll see how it pans out.
Well, Kurt Chapman running well further back in the top 10 as we ride as well with Kane Ryder. He's got Brock Caddy in behind him at this stage. The driver details on the timing is just a little bit off them. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah.
With that, that's really weird. It's fun when timing just decides it doesn't want to work properly for us.
Wow. This is a battle, essentially for P2 at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
There's James Mason, there's
P2.
Kane, and there's Brock we're riding aboard with, my friend.
Yep. So we ride here with Brock Caddy in behind Kane Ryder and James Mason as well. And Brock's doing a fantastic job here tonight just to hang on to this position. He hasn't taken a pit stop, though, at this stage of the race, so corrected order. Daniel McCrowan is P2. Chapman and Barber are P3 and P4, but is there a penalty coming the way of Daniel McCrowan? Scott Rankin has just had a moment down at turn 1-2. He's gotten loose in this Corvette down there, and in fact, he's actually missing a rear wing right now.
Scotty.
He spoke to us pre-race there. He wasn't that comfortable in this car coming into tonight's event, and that might be proof in the pudding for him, unfortunately, as he looks to wrestle this thing further on into the night. But one more race to go. There's still plenty of points on offer, but ultimately, Scotty may be starting further down the field than what he would have liked.
Scotty, very vocal, active member of the Australian motorsports community as well too. So Scotty will let us know and everybody know about it. And Scotty's obviously a very, very quick driver as well too. And as I said, active community member. And I've seen him in a 2-2. So that's all I can say. Yeah, the day, my friend. Battle for P2 still there. But where's Bradley? He's gone. Bradley's gone. And I'm talking about gone. I'm talking about 5 seconds up the road. He's basically gone, I want to go to Melbourne, my friend. Adelaide, I'm done with it. I'm already up the road. I'm driving to Melbourne.
I mean, he's in Mount Gambier at this point.
Yeah,
whilst everyone else is stuck in Adelaide. But yeah, for Brad, as Rankin finally pulls that car back in pit lane, as I said, for Brad, ultimately he needs a 30-second gap over Kane Ryder. He is a sixth of the way there, at 5.8 seconds, being the current gap, as Rue Koistra has just had a moment, as is Vinny Nguyen.
Four
big
wide.
battle.
You can't do it, gentlemen.
4 wide. Staggered 4 wide into turn 3. And it's never going to happen.
No.
Somehow they've gotten away with it. Rue Koistra, by the way, is parked up at turn 3. He's actually backed into the escape road down there.
Yep.
May not get a safety car because of where he's actually parked up. So they may just let him tow here knowing that he's right on the escape road, and they have done. So he was in the safe zone, as Christian Wells has just had a moment as well. I'm trying to find him on my list. This is what's happened to Christian. I think Yeah, this was down at turn 2 again, so he's actually come through into the off the sand down there. So Rue toes. What happens to Christian though? Why does he get a crash, or is it just that he parks? It might just be that he parks. Okay, finish speed, nice. That is totally fine. So for the race leader Bradley Hudswell, he's trying to push and gain as much time as he can over the projected race leader at this stage. Ryder. For Hudswell, he is driving incredibly well down there as he situates himself. P1 on the road, opted not to pit under the pace car, and he's got a 7-second gap.
Wow!
Back to the Team Max Boost Lamborghini. But how long? How long can he go? And can he build up enough? I don't know if he can build up enough gap. I mean, ultimately, 7 seconds is still a lot of time. But how much is he going to drop when he comes in? You look at 30 seconds on the clock as Ryder is going for it here on James Mason. Inside line at the hairpin down there. He's going to be trapped on the outside, though, for the next section. Brock Caddy right on his tail, putting pressure on him here. Glenn Crellin's had a moment further back in the field as well, but for Adams, he's trying to survive against Ryder, although this is lap traffic stuff. Adams should actually, technically, I believe, oh no, that is not Adams, that is James Mason. So that is not Adams, that's right there, that is Mason, who needs to try and let Kane Ryder through when he can. He's continuing to have incidents.
Who's the car sitting there waiting? There's cars, everybody waiting.
There's cars everywhere.
Wow.
That might have been Glenn Crellin. That might just be Glenn Crellin down there at turn 1. It's not. So there's already cars parked up.
How do they just navigate that? That's amazing.
There has been an explosive incident down at turn 1.
Yep.
And through turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3. I'm trying to find it here.
Yeah,
so that's it. Adcock going. Oh, that's what it was. It was that exact moment with Jacob Hughes, Milan Pejarak, and Ed Adcock down there. So Adcock was backed into the barrier. And this is what's happened to Jacob Packett-Hughes and Milan Pejarak as well.
It's a hard lick in the fence early, isn't it? Just clipped the inside tyre barrier. That's Adelaide, my friend. That's probably the reason why Formula 1 don't go in here anymore as well, too, because they couldn't handle it these days, mate. Old school. Nigel Mansell and Elaine Pross would be like, in the end centre, brush it off. But, hey, pit stops. Oh, pit stops. Mason in, mate. Rocky's in.
As we said, cars that hadn't pit under the pace car would inevitably have to come back in once again. And the reason for that is the safety car is on track.
Wow.
So those other cars that have stayed out, i.e. Brad Hudswell, is trying to send the no-stop strategy here this evening.
Yeah, obviously, do you think that's because of that track blocker, my friend, that you caught out there in the picture? Fantastically.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So much to.
I mean, it's so upsetting for some drivers that have been caught out in some incidents here on the road tonight. But this is the struggle of Adelaide. This is the struggle that the streets bring when you come to South Australia, to the city of churches, and you've only got a hope and a prayer to make it to the end of this thing. And for Brad Hudswell, he is hoping that this car can make it to the end of this race without needing a pit stop. Ultimately, though, he's got no one between him and Kane Ryder. So the problem is Ryder can attack him without needing to fuel save, where Hudswell has to be a maximum fuel save at this stage of the race. I think the opportunity win's done for Bradley, if I'm honest with you, Dean. I think it's gone. I think he's going to get buried behind those 4 cars who are going to come screaming past him, and he is going to have to try and fuel save that thing for its life to get it home here tonight. I think he's missed the boat here to not come in on this second chance that he got to do it under yellow flag conditions.
I mean, you want to give it that track position? He's going to basically go from the outhouse to the from the penthouse to the outhouse.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I mean, he's got a lot to lose, but essentially by staying out, what's he got to lose? Maybe 10 positions, give or take, with the time that's left in this race.
It's more right now.
Well, yeah, but
he would be giving up. He would be going down to roughly P22 if he came in under green.
If he pitted, yeah. But if he stays out...
But on the other hand, though, if he stays out, he runs out of fuel.
Well,
he's going to end up down the back of the field and nowhere to go. So
true. I like that. I mean, that's one for the chat as well too. Would you stay out if you were in the boots right now, Bradley, or would you just risk it for the biscuit and just like, would you come in and be safe, or would you just gamble it all? It's like going to a casino, my friend. Red or black. What are you going to do? And of course, you know what happens when you go to the casino and you bet in the roulette reel? There's a zero there. That's the one that can catch you off guard, isn't it? The zero.
That's right. To answer Cher's question about Roo, he has used his fast repair for race 1, but he is a lap down at this stage. So the longest time, the reason he was in pit lane for so long was he was waiting for his tow back to pit lane as well. So that's why. Danny Yeaman's saying 65% could maybe do 40 to 45 minutes flat out. So we last saw Ryder and Co come in on lap 11 under that last pace car around about the 45-minute marker. So they're good to get home. He's now run through 2... So what's funny is here, Dean, is so he's run through now 2 safety car periods. If they both last 7.5 minutes, that's 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's 45 minutes. So if he's been fuel saving a little bit just to settle himself in, he may make it home without a pit stop in this race. But I think it's going to be a balance. I think it's going to be a very fine margin if he makes it home with no pit stops in race 1. I think it is going to be a very, very tight margin for him to do that. And I think right now, if you're in his position, you're in 6th gear, clutch in, just trying to save as much as you can in that car to make sure that you can make it home in this race, because he does not want to have to be fuel saving. So it's a tough game. See if he can do it. If there's another safety car, he's committed at this point. I don't think he comes in. I think he stays out. I think he stays out knowing that with a third safety car, he's guaranteed to get home in this race.
I like your optimism, my friend. There it is in the last pit stop info. And NA, you've not been down there, my friend, since the start of this race. 23 laps, 30, give or take. I can't even read that at the moment, my friend. I need glasses. But 35 minutes into this one. And the rest of the field, of course, being down on those laps. So that is interesting here this evening. Here in Adelaide, the streets of Adelaide, for the second race of the season. Of course, in that calendar, we've survived the mountain somehow. Don't know how we did it, but we've gone from New South Wales, going down to Adelaide. And then, of course, they'll have to pack up all these cars, chuck them on a boat, take them over there to Road America in the United States of America, my friend. For round 3.
Yeah, well, and then after that, of course, over
hop on
to Circuit de la Sarre.
Oh yeah, sorry,
for Le Mans.
Yeah, Le Mans,
France. In France, and then to Circuit de Spa.
Driving on my GoPro camera.
Belgium.
Hey!
You better be careful they don't crush it with a tire.
They did. Anyway, I hope everybody's enjoying it. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Just hit the like button if you're actually enjoying the racing, and if you're subscribing, if you think that you'll be loving to see more of the Premier Endurance Racing Series. And of course, this is the limited series, my friend. We've got the Open as well.
We do.
Yep.
We do. And we've got Adelaide still to come for that Open Series in the next few weeks. I believe March 29th is the next round of that series when we'll be going racing once again.
Do you think they'll be watching this with a magnifying glass?
If they were of the mindset of how are we going to pre-plan for a race type that we've not raced before in this series, then yes, you would, because this is going to give you some free stats and some free data heading into that race, i.e. it's going to give you an idea on fuel strategy, it's going to give you an idea on race strategy, and it's going to give you an idea of what can I and can't do throughout those races to do well. So, and I think Dan Yeaman said it well in the chat there, he thinks Hudswell only makes it if there's another safety car. And right now he would need to be aggressively saving. I'm in the same boat. I think Hudswell still would need one more to make it home, because it's going to take an aggressive fuel save to get this car home with 22 minutes still on the clock. That's going to be tough to do with Kane Ryder in behind him. He almost has to push and then hope that there is a safety car within the next sort of 12 minutes. If there is one in the next 12 minutes, he might be okay Otherwise, he's going to have to pit. It's going to be a tough balancing act and a tough choice to make for the current race leader here in Bradley Hudswell on board that Audi right now. To confirm as well, Dale Atkins is now into the lead of the Challenger class. Ben Gorringe, who started down the order tonight, is in P2 of that class as well. Both Dale and Gorringe up 20-plus positions tonight. Dale's up 24. Gorringe is up 29. As we're green flag running on the streets of Adelaide once again, and we flow through turn 1 and turn 2. How many more victims is turn 3 going to claim? It created a car park for us a little bit earlier on. That's what brought out the safety car this time by. As the runners continue to push themselves to the absolute limits here at Adelaide Street Circuit. For Hudswell, can he make it home? Or does he need one more safety car? For Atkins, pitted on lap 7, can he make it home? Was that too early of a stop, or is he okay? These are the tough questions that we're asking ourselves as we ride along for the final 20 minutes of race 1 here in Adelaide, with race 2 still to come your way in 25 minutes time.
Yep, this is your formal dress rehearsal, really, for the main event as well. But this is also 2 main events, so it's like, you know, you've gone to one show and then you're like, I loved it, so I want to buy a ticket back in the box office for more action. And I hope everybody's going to stick around and tune in for that one. Because I tell you what, once again, drivers are familiar in those conditions, aren't they? They're familiar with the cars. They're familiar with the drivers around them. When it comes to that second race, it's going to be elbows out, I have to say, a little bit more racing. But once again, questions are asked. Those drivers have not gone down the pit road. P1, Bradley has not gone down there. Jason Adams, Matthew in P6 and 7. So those 2 drivers have not gone down the pit road yet. They said, hey, we don't need you, crew. We are confident we can make this to the end of the race.
Well, they're confident, but are they blindly confident, or have they got statistics backing them up right now? We've got battles continuing to push throughout the field here. From front to back, there are some fantastic battle packs beginning to form here. The bottom 10 cars in this race are out of this race at this stage in time. Milan Payrak, Ed Adcock, Jacob Hughes, Christian Wells, Greg Heaney, Martin Hallinan, Thorn Weggett, Pete Baxter, Mark Foster are all in pit lane, and they've all been in pit lane for an extended period of time. Travis as a party has not started tonight's race. Michael Collins back in pit lane now as well, as Alfonso Lateo was trying to serve that slowdown. Allows Brendan Purcell, and Brock Caddy past him. As Caddy, oh wait, Purcell has just dropped a couple of positions further back, sorry, so that's continuing to fight for those guys. And for John Trott and co, they continue their battle as well, further up the order, in and amongst the top 10. So they're all doing well at this stage of the race. For James Mason, previously he sat amongst the top few cars as well. What does it mean when the slowdown box comes up? So it's the same share as whenever you see a little yellow flag on the side of the timing tower. It means that a driver has track extended and they have to give back some time on the clock. So they have to go slower, right, lift off, and they have to give back some time on the board to make up for the time that they gained whilst crossing the corner. Turn 1's is diabolical. It's around about 3 to 4 seconds.
Oh, especially at a car spot in that direction.
That there was Greg Barber.
Wow.
That was Greg Barber on board that Porsche. Spun round at the top end of the staircase section. And that is a horrid place for that to happen for Greg Barber. And I wonder, was there contact with anyone, or has he done this on his own?
We got a 3-way battle here, my friend. Don't go. Don't even go 3-wide, gentlemen. Don't do it. Oh, you know what? You can't tell drivers not to do it. They're going to go for it.
You can't. So Barbs loses it on his own down there. Loses the rear end. It spins round. It's a Porsche doing Porsche things. An old friend of ours would have said it one time or another.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, my friend. Right. But somehow they survived a 3-wide action into the corner. I can't believe it. I really can't.
I've got no idea how. Yeah. I don't know how they've done that. They buy a lotto ticket, that's what I say.
Yeah, exactly. I say, Hamish, I mean, if we can do that, I mean, that's the skill of these drivers. I mean, that's impressive. Very impressive.
Very, very impressive indeed. Matt Webber, P12 at this stage. Just outside of the top 10, battles away here with Daniel Piper, who's a couple of positions ahead of him there. That Porsche that's right ahead of him is one of the lap cars, as Ben Brook and Nick Schmalenberg have had a moment down at the final corner. Both of those cars have been involved in something, it seems, and they're just trying to pick up and lick their wounds down there. It is dangerous.
Yes.
I believe Matt Schmidtke as well was another car that was involved. This is how it happened. Schmidtke down the inside of Schmalenberg, runs him out of road, tries to rejoin, hits into Ben Brook of Frog Leap Juice Racing, and it's all carnage and hell that breaks loose. And Matt Schmidtke may have something to answer for to race control before the end of this race.
Good catch, my friend. Good catch on that. Picture action, because there's a lot of it.
Well,
remember, look at those pit stops. Go ahead.
I can tell you right now, Bradley Hudswell is not fuel saving. 118.41 was his last lap time, so he is full push right now. So I think there's a bit of confidence here that he feels this car can make it to the end, or he's confident that there's going to be a third safety car, because there is no fuel saving coming off of this this Audi right now. It is full push
Look at the
at the
speed
top
coming
end of
through
town.
here. Wow.
Oh my God, John Trott.
Don't worry about lifting, John. Don't worry about lifting at all, my friend. Just send
don't
it.
lift.
Yeah.
Don't lift. Just
lick the
just have a
stamp
send.
and send
Yep.
it. I mean, who
Exactly
licks
right.
stamps anymore? But you know, I mean, John is.
He's having a proper send. Now, there's
Yeah,
also
going
been a
back up
5-second
into
penalty, by the
Kane.
way.
Kane and Dan, the man. This is a great
Yep.
little battle for P2, my friend.
There is indeed. Yep. The two teams' Max Boost drivers continuing to battle away for position here on the road. McCrowan's now gotten past. Chapman's caught in there as well. And the team game's starting to work here. The team's Max Boost, they get past Kurt Chapman, and now they look ahead 3.1 seconds up to Bradley Hudswell in the race lead to try and chase him down. But is Bradley going to have to pit this car, or can he make it to the end on a no-stopper? There is less than 15 minutes to go here on the streets of Adelaide in round 2 of the GT3 Limited Series, brought to you by Dash Off-Road 4x4 Parts and Accessories for 2026, as Matthew Crozier, one of those cars that hasn't pitted yet, has come into pit lane.
Oh, send up the inside there.
So does Jason Adams have to do the same? Does Hudswell have to do the same?
You might have called it, mate. You might have called it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But why would you be gassing it? Why would you be putting banker laps in, qualifying laps?
Because I think he knows. I think he knows he was never going to make enough time.
Right.
So I think he knows that he just has to push on, try and build as much gap and mitigate the positions that are going to be lost off the back of that safety car. I think that is the thought process right now for Bradley Hudswell at the top end of the field. I mean, ultimately, if you're in his position, you either needed to pit on the last safety car or you believe you didn't, and now you're pushing on, trying to go as long as possible. Maybe, again, he knows something that we don't. Scott Rankin has got a meatball flag and is now back in pit lane, so that car is done for this race after already using its fast repair earlier on to put a brand new rear wing on it. And if you look at pit lane, as they come down the main straight from the back from the last corner, Dean, it is just a line of tail lights of cars that are parked up this evening.
It is.
Who haven't made the end of race one.
Well, they're waiting for the second race, aren't they? The pit crew out there trying to pitch you on. They're trying to be like Kimmy and trying to get out
In
there
Malaysia
before,
when he's eating the ice cream.
Kimmy Kimmy in the Melbourne GP, trying to get it before qualifying. That after free practice crash. That's what they're trying to do. And even though they're not trying to prepare the cars, but here it is. Bradley at the moment, he's got that gap. It's 3 seconds and change to Dan. You think if you're going to fuel save, got enough there? Get to that 10-minute marker. You could probably lift a coast quite a bit, couldn't you? Afford to drop
but
half a second a lap?
Yeah, but ultimately, has he saved enough to this point, or is he telling us something that he needs to save right now? He's not driving in the way that would tell us he needs to save, as it's a black flag for Owen Coleman. So he has now copped a black flag for himself as part of Digital Motorsport team. That'll drop him down the order now. You have a free position of Rui Koistra out there as well when that happens. But for Brad, the lap times are not saying to me that he is trying to fuel save right now. He's run at 18.41, 18.53, and this last lap was an 18.7. So he's ultimately, and that's two 18.7s in a row, by the way, ultimately that is not telling me that he is trying to fuel save. He is trying to mitigate and push. So he's either trying to build gap because he knows that he needs to pit, or he's trying to build gap so he's not attacked by McCrowan and Ryder and Chapman in behind him to the end of this race forcing him to use more fuel. It is a very tough balancing act. Jason Adams, on the other hand, who we feel is fuel saving, 1 minute 20.35 on the last lap. He has just copped a slow down as well. So he's in the same boat right now as Brad Hudswell, but I think he actually needs to fuel save and Brad doesn't, which is interesting because the Porsche normally can go around about a lap longer than every other car. So for Porsche is having to fuel save, makes me think does the Audi need to fuel save as well, and he's just not right now. I don't know. It's a very, very tough balance act, and it's a very, very tough piece of arithmetic to try and figure it out. 11 minutes left on the clock, though, with Daniel McCrowan now getting a black flag as well. It's one for the chat out there, and for the pundits to tell us what do you think.
Fuel save? What do you do right now? I mean, some of the drivers out there are also engineers too. And think about this: Daniel in P2 got the fastest first sector. Believe it or not, Bradley in the lead got the fastest third sector. So times up the race. Pretty much 6 to half and 6 to 1, half a dozen to another.
He's just done another fastest lap of the race, 118.35. So there is no indication that he's fuel saving.
For Dan.
Yeah. He got it on the last lap. So either he hasn't served. No, I think that there is for the contact that he had earlier on.
Right.
I think that there is a drive-through penalty for the contact that he made earlier on in the race. Which, if I look here to try and find it, there it is. The incident with Owen Coleman. Yeah. So you recall when Owen Coleman was turned at the beginning of the staircase? It was McCrowan that did it. So that's why McCrowan's got the black flag, and that's why he's got a drive-through, and it's going to knock him off the podium.
Yep, absolutely.
This is big for him. Again, another fuel save lap for Jason Adams on that last time by 120.33. So there is a 2-second lap time difference between the race leader and the other car that's in the same position as him, Jason Adams, back in P5, up 45 positions at this stage of the race.
45?
So I think
Are you kidding me?
yeah, 45. Up 45 positions in this race. He started at the back end of the field, and he's not come in. He's pulled a no-stop strategy to this point in time. Can he make 9.5 minutes? And the other question...
No, he's come in. He's come in.
Yeah, okay, which we kind of assumed was going to happen. By the way he was fuel saving, we assumed Adams was going to be in. The question I do have, though, Dean, and I've just thought about it now, is what happens if we go into overtime?
Oh.
What happens if Hudswell crosses the line with 15 seconds to go and he has to do another lap? Yeah. Does he have fuel for an extra lap on board this car?
Yeah, I mean, that'll be stretching. They'll be running fumes. So the only person that's going to know right now is the 88 of the Audi of Bradley. He's the only one that's going to know. But he's going to be happy to know that P2 has that black flag. So a little bit more breathing space, a little bit more, let's say, lifting and coasting space. Last 9 minutes of this race, we figured around that 10-minute marker, he's either going to think about coming in or think about fuel stretching at this point. And it's big fuel stretching if you're going to run out of gas, mate. You know that because...
that's right. But the point I was about to make is, so for Jason Adams, if we compare Jason and Bradley, right, and what they were risking by not pitting tonight, right? He's coming in. Brad's in, so he had to pit.
He can't do it.
He had to pit as we thought.
He's not the only one.
He didn't want to fuel save. McCrowan's had to come in for that drive-through. So Kane Ryder's going to take the race lead. So in terms of was it worth it for Brad Hudswell, I don't think so. For Jason Adams, I do think so. Because guess what? He's up 25 positions in this race now. He had nothing to lose. He only had things he could gain by staying out on the road. Where Hudswell has arguably just thrown away a top 5, possibly not a top 10, although the traffic's coming past him now as he's on exit. But he's going to be right at the back end of the top 10. So for Hudswell, he's thrown away probably about 6 positions by staying out. Yes, he stayed out of trouble, but was it worth it to give up 6 positions worth of points? I don't know if it was, Dean. I ultimately don't know if it was. Whereas if he had pit under the first safety car, he probably wouldn't have been up. He would have been up and around the top 5, and he would have been in contention possibly for a podium still as well.
Gambling on your spotter, aren't you? You're gambling on your engineer. You're gambling on strategy. Track position, sometimes you go, hey, I'm leading a race. It's fine. It's good. I can maintain. I can manage a race. And I think you might be right. He might be gambling on another safety car because, when you re-rack and restack them, that's inevitably bringing a possibility of another caution. And thus, if he just leads the race, then thus he could just bring it home because he'll feel safe to the end. But didn't pan out, did it?
I'll tell you what, Kurt Chapman is trying to deal with lap traffic right now, so he hopes to chase down the race leader, Kane Ryder. And Nick Schmalenberg has done him no favours holding him up with blue flags. 2.6 seconds is now the gap between P2 and P1 on the road. So Chapo's got to try and chase him down, but a slowdown at turn 2 is not going to help him.
Yeah,
That's only going to hurt Kurt Chapman now. I mean, he's got 10.5 seconds back to P3. I think if you're in the position of Chapman, you don't really need to push right now. You've got plenty of space between you and third place. Let's just consolidate position and take home a very solid P2. I mean, it's P2 at the point. You're risking your race, pushing too hard.
Nothing wrong with silver, my friend. And if you've been in the commodities market of lately and betting on gold and silver, I'll take a silver any day of the week. It's been going up in the stock market, so do it. Just start. But look at this, the medal. Sheep stations.
I've heard Motorsport's now going to start giving away silver medals for P1 instead of P2 because it's worth more than gold.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And you can put them in your solar panels too if you want to charge your batteries. So that's where it's at.
So more slowdowns still coming for cars further back in the field as well. Dale Atkins here, he's played an absolute masterclass now. He came in back on lap 7 before the safety cars had even been out on track. And right now, he has got enough fuel to get this car home in the race lead of the Challenger class at this stage of the evening, with Brendan Purcell in behind him, down 1 off the lead of this class. Atkins is up 26 positions.
Wow.
And a fantastic run tonight, a great strategy play. Yes, he may have lucked into it slightly by pitting on lap 7, and then there's been a safety car where he didn't need a pit. But for him, and Whiskey Business Racing, he's going to take this Challenger class win every day of the week. 5 seconds is the gap. Just needs to maintain it across the next 5 minutes. He could give up a second a lap and he'd be fine. So, yeah, for Dale... Oh, sorry, a second a minute. So it's even less than that.
Send the inside.
Webber on the inside.
Gets it done.
He does. Great move for Matt Webber on Sean Benici.
Further up, Bradley and Daniel Piper.
So this is for the top 10. We know that Huds will risk the strategy tonight, and he's really putting himself under pressure now, being amongst the pack of cars battling for position.
And Brock.
There we see the biggest movers of the night on the side of the screen as well. Josh Swain up 31, Adams up 26, Atkins up 26 as well, Gorringe up 26, and Benici up 24. So they risked the strategy, and it's played out for them. Pure dividends in terms of positions gained. It'll also give them a better start position for race 2, of course, with that continuous grid still to come for the second race of the evening after our warm-up session here.
Wow.
We have got 4
who's
minutes
the
on the
background?
clock. That was one of the AITX cars around, and I think that was...
Yeah.
I'm trying to find who it was. It might have been... Mercedes, and it was Bobby Camo.
Bobby
Camo.
On the pit road.
Yeah. So he's just coming to pits.
I think Hamish might have that. Look at this. Keep an eye on the picture. Picture there. They had to lift off there through 2 through the S's. Adelaide. Not advised. Here we go. But maybe through here. Get into the elbows. They're called tradie paints for a reason, my friend. And these drivers are trading paints. They're trading Christmas cards. They're trading everything this evening, my friend. Pokemon cards. Who knows?
Yeah. I am a Pokemon card collector myself, so
I figured that one, my friend. You young buck.
It is the millennial collector's item at this point in time. As Camo lost the rear end, put it in the wall, lost the rear wing, and now has to nurse that car back to pit lane and get himself going once again. So Kane Ryder, 5.7 seconds is the gap back to P2 and Kurt Chapman. And I think what Chapo's learnt is consolidate position. He doesn't need a push. He's got 9 seconds back to P3. Let's just get that Porsche home in P2 in a fantastic run here tonight. He's up 3 on the overalls.
Challenge for...
It's been a fantastic run here this evening.
P4 too, my friend. Just battling for sheep stations, essentially outside that podium.
Yeah,
John Trott there and Dan the Man.
Putting themselves in the position to pick up the pieces and be almost a bit of a Roomba out here of anyone who may drop something on the floor in terms of position on the totem pole. So for these guys, P4 could be gold if one of the cars ahead of them makes a mistake and they end up off track.
Absolutely, mate. You just chip away what you can get at the time safely. I mean, now it's the point where you can just go for it, isn't it? Brisket for the biscuit. Dying stages of our first race here this evening.
I don't know if it's worth the risk right now, Dean, because of the fact that it's a continuous grid. Your starting position of race 2 is wherever you're going to finish in race 1. So I actually think unless you have the door open for you and the move is on, I don't think it's worth a risky dive bomb at this stage of the race. If it was this stage of race 2, sure, go for the dive.
Right.
Race 1, I don't think it's worth it as much, because if you muck it up and you end up in the wall, guess what? You're going to be starting further down the field in race 2. You're only going to make your life harder for the next hour. So you've got to try and, again, figure out that balance of, is it worth it, is it not? Yes, it's worth a couple more points now, but it could cost me major points in the next race if I make this mistake. So it might be just better just to hang on, take home the points, push on, and see what happens in race 2.
Hey, Misha, I'm disappointed. I mean, the amount of thousands and thousands of broadcasts that you've done over the years there, you honestly think drivers are just going to sit back and relax and listen to your advice and say, well,
I don't think they're going to do that, but I'm still going to give it to them.
I know. I understand, my friend, but they never do they? If
also, to put the record straight, I haven't even hit 1,000 broadcasts yet, actually.
Okay, well, fair enough. But you've done, I mean, I know for a fact that we've worked together for a long time.
We have.
And that's one for the chat. I mean, drivers will go for gap.
They will.
Wisely,
I think
they shouldn't necessarily, but you're right, they will. But
I don't think kick the door open.
Right.
But if the air swings it open and you get a chance, then you may go for it. But don't just go for a low percentage move. It's not worth it at this stage. The risk versus reward is not worth it, as we have 3 seconds on the clock, and it is going to be overtime. Kane Ryder has just started the final lap of this race, so we are going overtime. So yes, we had questions on those drivers that didn't pit if they were going to make it to the end with a bit of overtime. Well, guess what? We've had to go overtime. So if they had stayed out, would they have made it to the end? I don't think so, if they did have enough fuel. But what we are seeing is an extra lap of this race. So we've gone to 41 laps, which we would have made without the safety cars. But with safety cars, we did not. To confirm for sharing the chat, Rue did take another pit stop. He needed a little splash of fuel in that car. Came in a lap 37, so that car has, but he's back where he started, P22, or P30, so he'll be starting possibly from the same position he started race 1 when we get to race 2 in a couple of moments' time. But for Kane Ryder, fantastic run here tonight, kept it clean and mean on board the Team Max Boost Lamborghini.
Looks
and
nice.
As he rides the wave
to
success once again, they're moving out of the way for him because they know he won it at Bathurst. He's going to go 2 in a row in race wins here in PEL GT Limited Series, brought to you by Dash Off-Road. Ryder goes 1 out of 2 in the first race at Adelaide here this evening. Chapman will come home on the podium in P2, and behind him, Latella in P3. As long as they make it to the line, Dale Atkins is leading the Challenger class right now, up 28 positions and into P12. Overall, that's where he'll start on the next race. But James Mason's having to give up some spots here. This could give him another free one as he battles through the final corner. Atkins, can he get there to P11? He can. Mason's run out of fuel, and that's P11 for Atkins, and up 29 in race 1. What a run for the Acura driver. Bit of a luck into it as he came in on lap 7 before the safety car, but by God, is that a tasty treat to take home at the end of race 1 this evening. Second most positions gained behind Josh Swain, who is up 32 positions into P17. But what a run. And what a run for Kane Ryder. 2 wins from 2. Can he make it 3 from 3 in race 2 here this evening? Only time will tell as he brings it back in pit lane. And he preps for race 2 here at Adelaide Street. So there's a 5-minute warm-up to come your way momentarily. The drivers will have a chance to get up, go get themselves a refreshment. The only time the whole season that they get one in between the races. Dean, at this stage of a regular round, they'd still be racing. They wouldn't get a chance to get up and go use the facilities of their own home, whether it's to get a drink, a snack, or even to go have a little loo break as well. And I think this actually may be this may be one of the selling factors for more sprint rounds in future. Drivers, especially some of the older drivers, might be thanking the fact that they could get up in the middle of the race and go to the
I see
loo.
Where you're going, Hamish. Yeah, blaming on the old drivers. Need to go to the old loo break a little bit more.
Hey,
never heard of it being a loo break, but okay.
I have worked now for V8 veterans for I'm coming up on my 14th season. for V8 veterans.
Right.
And the one thing they always say is, I wish I had a loo break in the middle of the race. So, you know, maybe it's
I'll
helpful.
give you a
maybe
lift break if you don't behave yourself. Let's go over those results. The first race, my friend.
Results for race 1, of course. Kane Ryder wins it for the for the elite class ahead of Kurt Chapman and Alfonso Latea. And with Hudswell, after a great run leading for 23 laps, he inevitably gave up the race lead. Back to Ryder, who goes from pole to race win here in race number 1. John Trott, Daniel McCrum, Brock Caddy, the top 6 John Trott, Daniel McCrum, Brock Caddy, top 6 cars. Daniel Piper, Bradley Hudswell, Sean Benici, and Matt Webber for the top 10. The winner of the elite class in race number 1 tonight was Dale Atkins, up 29 positions into P11. A fantastic effort ahead of Brendan Purcell, who got P2 in that class tonight as well. Vinny Nguyen, Luke King, James Mason, the top 15 ahead of Wade Reynolds, Josh Swain, Jesse McMenamin, Matt Schmidtke and Daniel Fritz made up the top 20 of the 53 cars on the grid here for race 1 this evening. 5-minute warm-up to come your way, where drivers can head out there to get a little bit of extra practice in, or they can go get themselves a refreshment by way of a drink, of a snack, or a facility break as well. And this is an opportunity for you guys in the chat to do so too. In the next few minutes, race 2 will be coming your way right here with Premier Endurance League, brought to you by Dash Off-Road 4x4 Parts Store for 4x4 parts and accessories, of course. And head over to their website at www.dashoffroad.com.au. Big thank you as well to the safety car sponsor. We've already seen them twice tonight. Sootspeed Gloves, premium sim racing gloves for sim racers, made by sim racers. You can visit them at www.sootspeed.com. To Kiwi Graphics as well, a big thank you to those guys for their branded clothing, car wraps and commercial graphics as well. Head over to kiwigraphics.com.au. And a Sim Racing in Focus podcast. It's obviously the podcast focused on sim racing, hosted of course by Dean Reddit and James and Mr. Packets Hughes as well alongside him as part of Riot Sim Racing. And visit them over at facebook.com//Sim Racing in Focus. You can also find them at all your podcast outlets of Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and as well over on YouTube with the video version of the podcast as well. But round 2 tonight for the limited series here at Adelaide Street Circuit. 3 rounds to go this season, and the next time we'll be on the circuit, we'll be over in the US of A, in Wisconsin, in Cheese Country, as April 12th will host Road America for the Premier Endurance League Limited Series once again. That's going to be an absolute rip snorter as we go racing for 2 hours on Road America in one of the oldest and probably most underrated sports car circuits in the world. Then it's over to France for Circuit de la Sarthe at Le Mans, the home of course the Le Mans 24 Hour. It is a main cornucopia of racing in France, and it's held as one of the crown jewels of racing. In sports car terms, it's held on the same level of Daytona and the Nürburgring as well. And then for the final round of the season, out in May, we go racing at Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps, where we will crown our next limited series elite and challenger class champions going forward this season. But for Kane Ryder, he is perfect at this point of the season, Dean. He's invincible. Pole position tonight. He won it back at Bathurst. He's won it in race 1 this evening. And in 1.5 minutes' time, he'll be hoping he can start a race that he wins, where he'll hope to go 3 from 3 to start out the limited class series of season 7 of Premier Endurance League for 2026.
Trifecta is the one that you definitely want at the moment. You've done such a great effort, and you know, it's like anything for a driver. You're on a high, right? So you want to just continue to climb as high as you possibly can. And there's nobody, they're all behind you. So just stretch that extra mile and then just climb. And then you feel like you're in a drill class of like the US Marines or something like that. You want to just go further and further. And that's exactly what this man's going to try to do. And what, I mean, he's going to, get the mountain conquered. And that's one thing. Get Adelaide conquered and in domination style. And then that's the biggest target you're going to have on your back, isn't it, going to the championship? It's like even Max Verstappen right now might be tuning in going, I don't think I can catch this guy. Even Super Max can't do it. And let us know in the chat there if anybody thinks that you can dethrone that man currently at the moment as a driver.
I think there's a couple of drivers that can. I think the likes of John Trott, I think Owen Coleman, I think Daniel McCrowan possibly as well. Bradley Hudswell had great pace in that race. If he had a better strategy, he may have been up there challenging for the race lead and the race win. So I think there are a few drivers that can beat Kane. I think the X factor of the streets of Adelaide are definitely a massive one, obviously, in terms of dictating where drivers will end up. But as we run into race number 2 this evening, 60 minutes will go on the clock, and it'll be a continuous grid for race 2. So however they finished in race 1 is how they're starting race 2. And, we got to go all the way back to the start to find out where everyone's going to be. It won't be from back to front, don't you worry about that, as it's Kane Ryder from win and pole position in race 1 to pole position in race 2. He'll start alongside Kurt Chapman on the front row of the grid. Alfonso Latea and John Trott will make up row 2 in behind them after a strong run in race 1. Daniel McCrowan will a drive-through cost him a podium in race 1. He'll start P5 here tonight alongside Brock Kadai for row number 3. Daniel Piper and Bradley Hudswell will start inside of the top 8 here for race 2, with Sean Benici and Matt Webber making up an all-elite class top 10 here for the 5th row of the grid. Then we get to the top 2 of the Challenger class. Dale Atkins up 29 positions in race 1. How many can he gain in race 2? He'll start alongside Brendan Purcell on the 12th row, on the 6th row of the grid. Vinny Nguyen, Luke King in behind them for the top 14, with James Mason and Wade Reynolds making up the 8th row of the grid in behind them. Josh Swain and Jesse McMenamin will then make up the top 18 cars, with Matt Schmidtke and Daniel Fritz making up our top 20 for the 10th row of the grid here tonight. Andrew Neal, Jason Adams for the top 22 alongside Brent Tucker, and John Akers will start in behind them for the 12th row of the grid here tonight. Owen Coleman, Greg Barber, they've got great pace. They've got a lot of work to do though in race 2. They have to fight through from P25 and P26. Ben Gorringe, Glenn Crellin then for the top 28, with Matt Carrig and Rue Koistra. He'll restarted in race 1 back in P30 on the 15th row. Martin Lofthouse, Stefan Melli for the top 32 cars, with Ben Brook and Nick Schmalenberg in behind them. They make contact in race 1. Hopefully they can keep it clean in race 2. Jake DeBetta alongside Gavin Simpson, with Tristan McLaren and Braden O'Loughlin then for the top 38 cars. Bobby Camo, Matt Crozier will make up the top 40 on the grid here tonight, with Jesse Butler and Michael Cullen starting for the top 42. Scott Rankin, after a top 1 in race 1, will he run in race 2? Time will tell. Ed Adcock will start alongside him, with Jacob Hughes and Milan Pirak starting for the top 46. To Christian Wells and Martin Hallinan, they'll start ahead of Greg Heaney and Thorne Weggett for the top 50 cars. And Pete Baxter barely made it into any inroads in race 1. We'll see if he makes any in race 2, as he'll start alongside Mark Foster, with Travis as a party at the back end of town. He didn't start race 1. We'll see if he starts race 2 here this evening. 52 cars, with one extra at the back end who didn't race in race 1, may not be racing in race 2, and we may not have 52 cars starting this race, Dean. They may have crashed down in race 1 and decided, my night's finished, my night's over and done with, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to focus up for Road America in a couple of weeks' time. And ultimately, I think the highs of that race definitely has to come from the likes of Mr. Dale Atkins, who drove a spectacular race in race 1, got himself up 29 through a bit of lucky strategy after pitting on lap 7 of that race, and ultimately has got himself a class win here tonight now in race 1. P11 start for him. What does he now need to do now in race 1? I think he's just going to have to take it neat and tidy off the start, let everyone get into a rhythm, and then push on and see as the race comes to him across the night. I don't think it's worth the risk, obviously, of coming in on lap 7 again, but they would have learned from race 1 what it's going to take to get home on a no-stopper. That may dictate how many people actually pit if we get an early safety car, maybe within the first 15 minutes. That could change the game now of this race, as, the clock's gone forward a bit. Mm-hmm. We've gone later in the day. Track conditions would have changed slightly.
That's true.
There's a lot of different elements about this race now compared to race 1, in what we know can happen here now, that will dictate how this race is going to be run for some drivers out there. Of course, track degrees have come down from 10 degrees. They were up at 44. It's down to 34 degrees as we've gone a little bit later in the day, about 4:30 local time here in Adelaide for the race start here tonight. How's this going to change the race? Well, it's going to get cooler. It's going to get darker as the race goes on. Sunset's around about 7:30, so this race is going to end around about 5:30. So the track's going to start to get a little bit cooler. It's going to get faster as the race goes on as well. More rubber's going to get laid down. And ultimately, when the track gets faster, the pressure goes up. And for these drivers, they're going to have to try and withstand the pressure as best they can.
I'm looking forward to the second race because, once again, the dress rehearsal's over. Drivers are well aware of the conditions they've been racing earlier. Now that the conditions change, because tracks do evolve, cars do evolve, situations evolve, they know who their dancing partners have been when they've been racing earlier, and now they know that this is it. It's Adelaide for the final time this season. They're going to be able to prove themselves in some results. You can see there on the leaderboard there, the red is the elite class, the green is the challenger class, because they're battling in their own classes, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because if you're a challenger class and you can scoot past everybody, my friend, well, take the race victory. It doesn't, you don't have to yield.
Well, they're scored on an overall level as well,
Yeah.
so people forget that even though they're in different classes, the scoring actually goes on an overall level. And Isaac Curtis just said in the chat as well, clock already running down. So no, Isaac, we'll actually reset when we get back to the line. It's just because it's a full lap under the safety car. So what that'll mean is when we get back around to the line, the clock will reset up to 59 minutes. It's just as part of the countdown process at the start of the race before we go green flag. So for Kane Ryder, he wants to go 3 from 3 this season. He wants a perfect run tonight of pole position in race 1 to race victory, pole position in race 2 to race victory. That's what he wants. Kurt Chapman could pull off an all-time performance here, a breakout performance for AITX Revolution E-Racing, if he can get himself to a race-winning position here at Adelaide. Alfonso Latea, he wants to do the same thing for the same team that Chapman does. They had a double podium in the last race. They'll be wanting to try and maximise that once again. Of course, with John Trott and One Performance Racing, they want to try and get themselves a win here, their first win of the season. Daniel McCrowan, well, he wants to get back into a podium position here tonight. For Piper, Hudswell, Webber, Benici, maybe they feel there's still things to gain through race 2. So there's work to be done for them to fight their way forward. For Dale Atkins, well, he might be on top of the world right now and running on adrenaline after winning that race. But he's now going to be in the deep end. He's in amongst the top 15 with P2 in his class right behind him in Brendan Purcell, who's going to be putting up pressure on him straight away on board that Porsche. It is going to be maximum pressure off of this race start for all of these drivers throughout the field, and ultimately it could be a factor of drivers pushing too hard on that one through turns 1, 2 and 3, through turn 5 and through turn 8 to get onto the back straight and through the kink at 9 and down at the hairpin at 10, where we could get some early incidents, track jams, car parks, and possibly an early lap 1 Sud speed safety car out on the road. It is going to take patience, it's going to take fortitude, and I know someone said before, what happened to don't lift? Now you're advising caution. I mentioned that you don't lift through the likes of Eau Rouge, Radillon, Pouon, No Name and Blanchimont at Spa. I didn't say you don't lift here at Adelaide.
Your Belgian French is quite good, my friend. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. At Adelaide, you do need some lift. You need some caution, and you need some wits about you as well. You're not going to win it on lap 1. You've got 60 minutes on the clock. Make a name for yourself in PEL.
Let's go.
Can there be another overall race winner as Ryder has gone 2 from 2 this season as race 3 begins for PEL season 7, and it's race 2 on the evening as cars are going left, right and centre across turn 1 and turn 2. A slowdown already for Andrew Neil, and pressure is built. The front runners have made it through, and I think the rear end of town has tied it up a little bit as well, but it's never too late to say there could be an early incident, and it's never too late to say there could be an early safety car as Greg Heaney's got a black flag on lap 1 of this race.
This is what you want. This is the action. It's the final countdown, my friend. It feels like you're in one of those songs in the 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here it is. It's absolutely going for it, my friend. I'm lost for words because I've done 6 hours in Le Mans earlier, so, and Formula One.
Isaac Curtis saying, couldn't let them get away with anything, Hamish. I'm never letting anyone get away with anything, Isaac. You should know this by now. I will call everyone out for everything they say, whether it's against me, whether it's with me, or whether it's against the driver on the field.
Hey, you're just the entertainer, my friend. That's your job.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. As we've had an incident further back, as Braden O'Loughlin and others have really slowed down at the hairpin, but I think it might just be one of those classic moments with SDK playing funny buggers with a Steen of saying they crashed, but really they just parked the car at the hairpin as they tried to make it through at such slow speeds. Lap 2 though has now begun, and for the race leader Kane Ryder, he's got Kurt Chapman all over his heels. Really impressed by Kurt's performances thus far already here tonight. Got great pace in this Porsche, and he'll be hoping to continue this run of form throughout the season as well. And for the new AITX driver, as he's just had a slowdown, to serve this now before the next straight. So he's just served it around about now. Some of our timing is just having some issues here with updating frequently. I'm not getting flags on my end, but Dean is, and it's all over the place at this point.
Well, with 40-something drivers, 50-plus drivers on the grid, my friend, don't expect anything to work too well, because it's a lot in the data to be served. Look at this. Right there. John Trott in the back of Kurt Chapman.
And he's all over him, is the OPR driver of John Trott. Further back as well, Dale Atkins running well for Whiskey Business Racing, leading that Challenger class back there. He's got James Mason on his heels. P2 in his class. Purcell's now dropped to position early, but again, I think running the long game here tonight, trying to keep themselves clean, keep the car out of the concrete barrier, and ultimately keep it out of pit lane as well. That's going to be the key for them to make the end of this race in a solid position. But how's it going to change the strategy? We saw, it's a massive ride, sorry, for Sean Benucci in through turn 2. He jumped the curb, and that car is trapped on the side of the road. Will he be able to continue on, or is this going to be an early request to tow and possibly an early safety car as well, as Andrew Neil is dropping positions now as well. He's dropped out of the session.
Yep, keep it on that one. You got the picture action. Like it. It'll be a big tough call there, because it'll be on the exit. It'll be a little tricky.
Well, luckily, he's right on the escape road, so they may just let him tow here, knowing that it is lap 3. Although, actually, he was being patient and waited for the field and now pulled out and is continuing on. So there'll be no safety car off the back of that one. But that was a wild ride for Sean Benucci on board the Whiskey Business Mustang. His teammate still leading that Challenger class, by the way, back into P11 with Purcell hot on his heels. And again, nice little slow burn sort of a strategy tonight. What will the strategy be, though, if we do get safety cars? Do drivers come in, or do they risk going for the no-stopper, expecting a 3 safety car race? I think ultimately, if you do get a yellow flag opportunity for pit stop, you've got to take it, especially if it is within if it's around about that 45-minute marker, Dean. I think it is a must-do. I think it is a must-do. I think you have to pit at that point. I think there's a bit of an accident back there as
well. To look around this incident here, you can keep the eye on that one. That's a car stopped as well too. So I'll keep eye at the front there, because there's still some action there. Bradley, Brock, even close to the field there with Afonso, Kirk Chapman, John Trott. Don't have to worry about Kane Ryder. He's up the road. He's actually starting to build a big gap. Kane doesn't want a caution right now. He's like happy to have this big gap built up. He doesn't want it neglected by a safety car.
He wants it to be maintained at green flag running, and it's all messy. Further back in the field, down before the final corner, a couple of drivers all just getting caught out down there in some really messy business, it must be said. But I'm wondering, how has Martin Lofthouse and co gone round? I mean, okay, so that car's already around there. So there's a couple of cars that have been involved in some arguably relatively avoidable incidents. I really just want to try and find it. Okay, so this is it here. So this is Lofthouse and Brant Tucker. So Lofthouse has gone for the inside. Tucker doesn't realise he's there. Clips the rear. Koistra is involved as well in the background. He's got nowhere to go. And everyone else just has to try and nurse their way around them and hope they hold their brakes, which they do a great job of, mind you. But yeah, it's an early moment that they'll be hoping to forget.
Many cars on a track, it's going to inevitably happen. There's another car on the track at the moment as well, too. I think that might be Rue.
It is Rue.
It's Rue.
Rue's off down at the final corner after contact with Jake DeBetta. For the Cobalt Racing. Oh my God, that was so close for the Porsche as he came through the final corner onto Rue Koistra. He was waiting to redress the position. So I wonder here if Rue has actually made contact with Jake DeBetta into that final corner, and that's why he's waiting to give up the position down there. This is what happened. That's exactly what he's done. He's turned him around and he's waited for him. Yeah. That's a shame. And they may note the redress, but there may be a time penalty possibly coming for Roo off the back of that one. We'll see what race control say about it. And I would argue they will note the redress, but ultimately for Jake, he's dropped at least 5 positions in this race now off the back of that. So there could be something more extreme coming the way of Roo Koistra. It is getting messy down here. Ben Brook is parked down at the hairpin, and cars are just pushing him out of the way. What is happening at the back end of town tonight? My lord.
You're going downtown, my friend. Get a bit of Billy Joel kicked up in your race radio.
I am a piano man.
Yeah, exactly, my friend.
I promise you, though, I did not start the fire.
Kane Ryder's like, he's out of here at the moment. He's like, he's an easy rider at the moment,
Getting fastest laps,
yep.
1:18.55 already at this point.
Now?
We mentioned
almost 4 seconds.
3.6 seconds back to Latea.
He's
that
like,
is the gap.
Give me Melbourne, my friend. Adelaide, I'm done with. I want Melbourne.
Trying to get back for the after party of the Grand Prix. That's what he wants at this point of the evening.
Yeah, Oscar's going to sign my signature this evening after this race.
I wonder if they'll sell the piece of wall that Piastri hit.
Hey, I haven't watched the highlights yet, but okay, fair
enough.
Damn you, spoiler alert. I haven't had time. I've been broadcasting all day, but anyway.
Okay.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Continuing, no spoilers alert, but I'll tell you what, Brock
I won't
and
say any
Bradley,
more then on what happened.
Yep, you're in trouble.
I'll say no more. Oh, well, I didn't know.
Rick?
I knew that you didn't
we
watch
put
it.
him
I
on
didn't know if you might
suspension.
have checked the results.
I don't have time. Let's see how this pans out.
So for Dale Atkins, he still leads for the Challenger class right now. A nice tidy run for him thus far. Vinny Nguyen just on the back of him here with Brendan Purcell. Matt Schmidtke as well following this little train. We follow with Brock Caddy at the moment further up the field as more cars continue to follow through. Top 10 completely made up of elite class drivers here tonight. At the top end, it's Kane Ryder. At the back end, it's James Mason. Then we get to the first challenger of Atkins and Nguyen, Purcell, Schmidtke, King, Reynolds. And then it's third place in the challenger class, McMenamin back in P17. A couple of cars already a lap down, by the way, in this race, including Hallinan, Heaney, O'Loughlin, and Benici as well, after they've been involved in some early incidents all throughout the race. Mark Foster is the next one who will be passed by the race leader, Kane Ryder, who's just following in behind him here into the final corner. As Brock Caddy continues to chase down John Trott with Bradley Hudswell, Daniel McCrowan, Kurt Chapman all involved in this battle as Latea has gone up to P2 and is trying to chase down the 3.6 second gap up to the race leader as McCrowan with the fastest lap of the race, 18.32. We mentioned this track was going to get faster, and it already has. 18.32 within the first 10 laps of this race. They may get 17s just yet.
Problem is there a bit of traffic as well, too. You can be as fast as you possibly can, but you've got a couple of cars up the road. You want to catch the fast driver at the moment, Ken Ryder. He's the easy rider at the moment, and he's easy riding his way. 3.6, it was up before. And this is Alfonso. We're running on the deck lid with looking back at the moment there. He's got everything in control there of Kirk Chapman. But Kirk Chapman's got a handful of cars behind him there. Daniel McCrowan, Bradley, and John all nursed up at the moment. So fantastic racing. We're going to see you in race 2, my friend.
Slowdown penalty at the moment here for Milan Payrak. Back in the elite class. He's up 16 positions into P30. He's just trying to serve his slowdown at the moment. He's got Jacob Hughes in behind him as well, with Matt Crozier ahead of him, trying to chase down Matty at this stage, who battles with Ben Gorringe further up the road from him as well, as we run on board with Latea once again in P2. As
Bradley's the fastest man on the track, believe it or not, up the road here from John.
Yep.
So that's the car he's catching. And you think about it, you're catching the car that's the fastest car on the track. Problem is, it's one thing to catch, another thing to overtake.
Exactly right. Roo Koistra, to update share, is still running. He's back in P37. Down 7 positions in this race. He's in 27th spot for his class at this stage of the race as well. He continues to try and fight his way further forward, but he's struggling in this Acura this season.
Who's the car up there?
Who is that? That is one. Is that Braden O'Loughlin?
There's a car completely
It's one of the Frog League Juice Racing cars. It is Braden O'Loughlin.
Right.
Down on the back straight. Oh, no, he's still running. That's not Braden. So that's fine. I'm trying to see who it is. It might have been Stefan. It's Stefan Mellis. Stefan Mellis, the Belgian, is trapped on the...
He must be calling in, right?
Right-hand side of the back straight. He's been involved in a heavy incident down there with Tristan McLaren.
Oh, Kane's in. Kane's in from the lead.
Yep.
Is he calling it a safety car? Right. That would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? You wouldn't box so early in this race unless you knew something was going on.
That was a poor moment for Mellis and for McLaren down there. Oh, and Mellis with the rejoin. Oh, no.
You don't move under braking.
That is a horrid,
you do not move
horrid
under braking.
rejoin. Now, he moved onto the racing line. He came off the line. Heaney comes, and then he tries to go straight back to the race. What is that? Right. Oh, Mellis.
Can't do that. You cannot do that.
And he nearly clipped the race leader. That's the race leader that came through straight after them.
I figured that somewhere around the line there, wasn't it?
So that nearly caught out the race leader. So that could have been a huge moment.
Which was Kane Ryder. Yeah, exactly. So Kane Ryder was approaching that corner at high speed, probably not aware of what was going on until the very last moment, going, whoa, there's cars everywhere. And thankfully avoided it. Did go to pit road. Took advantage of that free pit stop, my friend.
Alex, they are the 992. It's the GT3 Porsche. It's not the Porsche Cup car. So only the Porsche Cup car is the 992.2. The current GT3 Porsche car is the 992.1.
Still there, isn't it? The car's still there.
Yeah, his car's still parked there.
Yeah. So
yeah, the GT3 Porsche is the 911 992.1.
Early pit stops.
The current Cup car is the 992.2. Early pit stops, of course.
Can they go to the end?
So
now, Daniel goes in from P3.
So this is lap 9, right? And we are currently 13 minutes into this race. Remembering we lost 7.5 minutes on the first safety car period of the last race.
That's true.
I think they can from lap 9. I think those that have stayed out have made a mistake here, because ultimately they're going to have to come in again when we get to the next pits, or when we get to later in this race, especially if there's not another safety car. If there is another safety car, they're going to be in the same position that Bradley Hudswell was in the last race, but they're going to be hoping for a third to get home. So I think ultimately, if we get another safety car and they don't pit, they're going to be locking themselves in to trying to push through. That's up to iRacing, Alex. We don't have the 992.2 in iRacing yet for the GT3 car.
Yeah. Talk to
so
you can
that's
talk
up
to iRacing if you like. I mean, I've tried to talk to them over the years.
Yeah. Email iRacing to see if they're gonna scan it. We don't have the most modern variant
Hamish
of the.
Says, do it.
We don't have the most modern variant of the Porsche GT3 car. In iRacing, it is the 992, but it's not the 0.2, it's the 0.1. So
a couple of black flags too, my friend, which will put a couple of these drivers back.
Yeah, so Schmalenberg and Latea is one of them who was in P2. So this is big for this race now. A stop-hold penalty for Latea into pit lane has dropped him right to the back of the field. So this has now completely swung the race on its head. But I want to give you a special piece of information right now. So Kane Ryder came in straight in on lap 9.
Yep.
Other drivers kept going for another lap, Dean. Daniel Piper came in on lap 10 after going an extra lap, and guess what? Because he was able to push on, he is technically the net leader of this race. Because he was able to push on without the safety car holding him up, he was able to gain enough time to actually come in and take a free pit stop ahead of Kane Ryder, who was trapped behind traffic out there. So Kane Ryder, Daniel Piper, is right now the corrected race leader of this race after pit stops will be completed. Interestingly, Dale Atkins, who took an early pit stop on the last race and went on to win the Challenger class, has not pitted under this safety car, interestingly enough. He has decided to stay out and try and take track position to P3 on the road on the overall. We'll see if the strategy will pay out for them going an extra little bit.
I'm loving that pink safety
coming
car.
in for their first stop. It's a great safety car. That's good speed.
Yeah.
Good speed safety car. What's the? Alex asked us, what's the difference? 0.1. That's the difference. No, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between the 992.1 and the 992.2. I think it's just a more modern
Really?
version of it. I think
Hamish
it's
does
literally
not
just a more
know
modern
an
version.
answer to iRacing.
Well,
Wow.
I'm not a
Okay.
Porsche engineer, so I don't know. That's a Porsche question.
Okay.
I don't know the difference between the cars. They're both 992s, but one of them's a 0.1 and one of them's a 0.2. I think it's literally just a more modern version.
I'll buy you 2 of them in your garage. You can drive them and tell us which one's quicker. How's that sound?
That'd be nice.
Down
nice
there
to have
in Melbourne,
modern
right?
Porsche.
Aren't you in Victoria?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Why aren't you at the Formula 1 GP, by the way, commentating it?
No, well, I'm not a Formula 1 commentator.
Oh,
And number 2, I'm not a supercars commentator, as much as I'd like to be.
damn.
Number 3, I don't have any money to go.
Hashtag,
I
let's
needed
get Hamish
broadcasting money instead.
into Melbourne 2027. There you go.
Get me into the Porsche Cup commentary team.
Yeah, there you go.
I call enough of it.
Yeah, I think so, to be fair, my friend. But back to the situation, what you are calling, and have a look at Dale in the Challenger class, my friend. He's up in the P3. Looking solid.
Yeah,
and he's got a
P3,
few
he's
cars
done well.
behind him to Jesse.
He has indeed. So he's got a couple of cars separating him and P2. Interestingly, Brendan Purcell did come in under the safety car. So he has now had a stop. He can get home. Rue Koistra has stayed out to update share in the chat. He stated he's not pitted underneath this safety car period. So Rue's trying to push on here up 1 position from where he started now, P29. But again, he should need another stop to get this car home. Pete Baxter's also stated in behind him. So he's trying to recollect himself throughout this race, push on to the end of this race as well. And yeah, he's put himself in a position that he's hoping maybe for more carnage, more safety cars, and try and get this race done in a 0-stop attempt, which it's likely going to take us 2 more safety cars to do so. Maybe even 3 more, Dean, because of, well, we had 2 last time, and the latest that a car went was 50 minutes into the race. We lose 7.5 minutes with a safety car. I think we may need more than just 3. We may need a 4th for cars to get home.
All right, so we'll call Flavio and Fernando Alonso, or no, Nelson Piquet. And we'll have somebody.
Piquet Jr.
Yeah, we'll have somebody do the crash gate scandal in the race, and we'll call another caution, and perhaps bring our teammate to the victory. Actually, we won't do that because we don't need to bring that entertainment, because Formula 1 sometimes back in the day was a little bit more boring. This is not boring, Hamish.
Dan Yeoman's just asking about the timing software, just because it's at times it has been lagging behind a little bit for the overlays tonight. I think the software is just having an issue with trying to stay lined up with itself this evening, Dan.
Well, 50 cars, mate. I mean, it's if you actually see official iRacing, they don't really do 50 plus cars, so you can probably understand the reason why we are struggling to do that. But we'll do our best. It'll pick up, right, Hamish?
I'm sure it will.
What's the maximum you've done? I mean, if you actually get a create an AI session in iRacing,
the max that I've
that many.
Well, hang on. So the max that I've broadcasted for a live race was, it would have been around about 50 odd. Would have been the most I did for a single race.
Right.
We got 50. I've done a race. I've done a test stream with 63 or 62 AI cars when I wanted to test my CPU,
and they all have perfect connections too.
Yeah, they do. It's based on my connection. But I wanted to push the graphics on it, so I turned everything up to see what the graphics were like. I did it before I changed the CPU. It was horrible. After the CPU upgrade, it was brilliant. It worked perfectly. So,
iRacing's all CPU, by the way, not GPU. So you can go out there and spend $10,000 on a graphics card, but if you don't have a good processor,
you need a good processor.
You ain't going to be doing too good in at least the graphics
I'm very thankful to have my new 9950X 3D in my computer.
I know, it's great.
It works wonders. It works great. It works fantastic.
Told you, Hamish. It's all about the processor, my friend.
It drags my 3080 along. It does well. Drag along. So yeah, it does the effort, does the job for me. As we have got still 40 minutes left to run in this race. We're around about 21 minutes into this thing. We're on to lap 14 of this race now as well. So we're under the safety car. We've been under the safety car since lap 9. So actually we've been under the safety car now for 5 laps trying to filter and decontaminate the field. So this has actually been an extended safety car period. We're running at an average of roughly 2.5 minute lap times, there or thereabouts, times 5. It's been running for the last, let me do the quick maths here, so 2.5, 5, 7.5, 10, 12.5 minutes under safety car. So the safety car's just pulled away. 12.5 minutes lost under the safety car at not full fuel running. If we get one more, will it be enough for those non-stop runners to get home here tonight? Only time will tell. But what it's done is it's thrown a massive spanner in the works in terms of who made the right call and who made a bit of a blunder, as Matt Webber gets us back underway here at Adelaide, round the final corner, onto the main straight. Green flag on the streets of Adelaide once again as we run towards turn 1 and 2.
This is the crucial moment here.
It is. It's incredibly crucial as they follow through. Can they file through turn 1, 2, and 3 nice and cleanly? Rest of the field, nice little line of stern stuff. They've kept themselves nice and tidy up to this point. We've got Christian Wells, who had a big incident earlier on in race 1, has copped a slowdown at this point. So a lot of drivers pushing the limits here on the restart lap just to make up a lot of pace, as Rui Koister has gone for a massive move on the outside. As a couple of those drivers, including Krellin and Wells, serve their slowdowns into the staircase section. So Koister and Baxter are making moves here to try and fight their way forward early.
That's what we like to see, isn't it? A little bit of elbows out. And, of course, there's going to be incidents. But that's what some of these drivers at the moment haven't boxed yet. They're sitting there, probably sitting there going, caution, 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 to help us out quite well right now. Interesting situation is in the pictures there, presented by the legend himself there of motorsports in Australia, of Hamish, as we're seeing a lot of mid-pack action at the moment. Hamish, Kirk Chapman, Bradley, and so forth.
So much mid-pack action at this stage of the race, of course. Baxter up 23. He's battling away here with Koister on the little screen, and with the likes of Chapman and co up further on the big screen as well. They continue to fight for key positions here in this race, but again, it's not going to be over until the checkered flag flies. But you're just trying to position yourself well to take advantage of poor calls in terms of strategy, or if your call for your strategy may be wrong or right. I mean, really, it's the balancing act that really brings the difficulty into it. And I love the spanners in the works that tonight's format has brought here at Adelaide. The fact that we've run 2 races, or technically 1.5 races at this point, but the way that the strategy calls have been really thrown to kilter. They've been thrown to the sword to be tested to their absolute limits, and it's not just a regular cookie cutter style of race. It is really special stuff, and I hope in future we start running these races in future seasons more, and maybe even experimenting that little bit more as well. Maybe running, I don't know, maybe a 45 minute and 1 hour and 15 minute style, or 40 and 80 minutes. I mean, just really trying to push the limitations, as that there is the Lamborghini of Andrew Neal straight into the wall at the entry to the park section down there in the final sector. That car is completely destroyed, and he is waiting. He's waiting. He's having to wait to let everyone by.
Yep.
But it's whether he needs a tow or he's just he's being patient. I have a feeling he's more so being patient than anything.
Move. Yeah. And basically go from the penthouse to the outhouse at this point, don't you, mate? Yeah. I mean, you can't go anywhere. Now it's damaged, but there it is. He'll hook it around.
And
good on you. Hats off to you, Andrew. It's so painful, isn't it, to just see so many cars. And there's field too.
Sitting there, you know, obviously frustrated at yourself or frustrated at another driver, and you're just having to wait, and you're just sitting there, you're just going, come on, hurry up, I want to get going again. Yep. And ultimately, you can't. As well as we approach the halfway point of the second race of the evening tonight as well. If you're joining us for the first time, or you've been here for a little while as well, be sure to hit the like button, to subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing here with Premier Endurance League action. We've still got the GT3 Open Series to come your way right here on the streets of Adelaide in only a couple of weeks' time. March 29th will be the next time we're racing here with Premier Endurance League, as Jay Kennedy and the crew will bring you the Open Series action right here on the Pell and SimSpeed TV channels as well.
Oh,
you guys can look forward to that action. And knowing the chaos that the Open Series brought at Bathurst, knowing that there is some looming weather possibly on the way for the Open Series too, that it could be pure magic, but also pure chaos on the streets of Adelaide next time out. And after that, it'll be the duo of Road America races for the Open Unlimited Series, then to Circuit de la Sarthe for Le Mans, and then over to Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps at the final race of the season for both series down there in the middle of May. As there's max pressure being brought upon here from the Lamborghini of Kane Ryder.
Get out the way.
Yeah, he is trying to push that Porsche of Jason Adams ahead of him and try and get a move on here, as he knows he's no longer in the corrected race lead. Remembering, if those cars that haven't pit need to pit, it means that Daniel Piper is the corrected race leader on board his McLaren out there in P4 right now. But for Matt Webber and Vinnie Nguyen, they're running away here from Dale Atkins, who is leading the Challenger class. These guys are hoping for another safety car. And if it's another 7.5-minute safety car period, well, they're going to be in the good, and they're going to be in the option of possibly getting these cars home without another fuel stop.
Keep an eye on the race leaders as well, too. They'll do a bit of switcheroo. If you keep an eye on that nice little battle there between 8th, 9th, and 10th, that's where it's at, my friend. Just trying to keep it.
It is, as Adams on the inside with Butler as well, continuing to battle. Watch for Bobby Camo. Had great pace earlier in the night. An unfortunate moment in race one. Dropped in positions. He's up 30 now in this race. Butler's up 33. As they got Bradley Hudswell following in behind as well. These battles continuing to go on. They are limited here tonight to 65% for race number 1 and race number 2 as well. 65% fuel limitation means they roughly get to 40-odd minutes in this race, and maybe a little bit less than that. That was what it was when I was told, so it may have changed to 55. I'm not 100% sure. So knowing that the fuel limitations are available, it means that it puts a bit more onus on them to have some strategic gambles across the streets of Adelaide tonight. And I know with the amount of churches that are in Adelaide, I'm sure they don't appreciate gambling too much. But
well, if you
maybe the drivers have to pray their way to a win.
Kane Ryder's rear wing, what does that say? Do not gamble on.
That's not Kane Ryder, that's Daniel Piper.
Daniel Piper, sorry, yeah. Do not gamble on Daniel Piper.
I don't even know if that's actual Japanese. It has a smiley face kanji on there. I'm not sure if it's a real kanji on there.
He knows that Luke King's behind him. Say that right now for the whiskey.
He does know Luke King behind
He's whisking business.
Oh my god.
That's the first pun of the evening.
It is the first one. It took us 90 minutes to get to the first pun of the evening for the racing here this evening as well. We've got half an hour to go here in the Nash Off-Road 4x4 GT3 Limited Series, brought to you by Premier Endurance League. We've had one SimSpeed safety car period in race 2. We had 2 in race 1. That makes it 3. And as well, we want to give a quick shout out too as well to Kibby Graphics and Sim Racing and Focus Podcast to continue to help bring Premier Endurance League to your screens and to your race courses on iRacing as well, with a massive field tonight of 53 drivers who signed up, 52 who have been running. It has been a spectacular evening for sports car racing on a Sunday here in Australia, and what a time to be alive as a part of a sports car fandom and the resurgence of sports car racing over the last few years. It's been brilliant. I mean, the improvements to World Endurance Championship and as well to IMSA too, even through Asian Le Mans Series, European Le Mans Series, American Le Mans Series, and through the obviously LMP3 and GT4 action you find in the Pilot Challenge as well. There's so much on offer for you in terms of sports car racing action from around the world. Majority of it available to us here in Australia for free on YouTube by way of the GT Challenge YouTube channel as well, to the IMSA channel as well. So, Premier Endurance League, with the great sports car racing they bring us into Sim World, Dean, we are spoiled for choice in terms of real world options for sports car racing as well.
Way too spoiled, my friend. And not just that, but the race that these drivers bring us, and of course, and the fans out there, thank you very much for tuning in there and supporting your friends and family, because it's what it's all about. We love it. We read your comments, and we'll support your friends and family members that are out there. And maybe you have a cat and dog out there. Who knows? We might have an AI robot out there driving the car.
There might be.
Yeah.
There may be.
Hamish could even be driving. I mean, God help us all if he is, but it is what it's all about.
I resent that statement. I won the Raw before the 24 in 2025, and I came P3 in 2026.
Yeah, but, 1997 doesn't count, my friend, when it comes to modern day racing. This man up the front hasn't taken a pit stop. This is another crucial. Oh,
that's Nick Schmalenberg. That was Nick Schmalenberg. Was it Nick? No,
somebody was around.
Oh my God! Hang on, no, there's been a big incident down in the entry to the final sector. Glenn Crellin's gone off. There's been a major moment down here with multiple cars.
That scared me, my friend, when I saw that.
It was Wade Reynolds. It was Wade Reynolds who was spun round off the exit of turn 4.
Is that right in front of Matt, the race leader, too?
It is. It's right in front of the race leader.
Tapped him.
Well, they were getting very aggressive down there.
Wow.
And that's gone down. And then this was the moment with Crellin and co. The Brant Tucker's in this as well. Just slowed right up on the apex. The Lambo on the inside, and it's always going to end in tears when you got moments like that. Oh, my God. Oh, multiple cars piling in. Benici was involved.
No caution called, right? So
no caution called. No one needed to tow.
Yep.
Owen Coleman and Matt Schmidtke as well have had a bit of a tangle here down at turn 10. They came through the kink at 9. Schmidtke looked to cover. Coleman with a massive send on the inside. And then nose to tail action and spun round. Schmidtke goes. That might be a drive-through coming the way of Owen Coleman on board the Mustang. Not a night for him to remember as Crellin comes through pit lane.
Thank you very much for the replays, my friend. Hamish has got it all under control. We've got all the action here at the Premier Racing League. Endurance League with the dash off-road. Look at this little tuffle, you'd say, the hornet's nest, as the Americans like to say as well too. 6, 7 for 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th on your pitches. That's what's happening.
It's a real buzzing battle that's happening down there, as this was a moment for Ben Brook, who just got caught out with some back ends of incidents as well. Dan Yeamer mentioning 65% of car, or per car, so the actual literage of each car is dependent on the unrestricted capacity of each car as well. So, as we said, there'd be certain cars that would have benefits over others.
Yep.
Normally, the Porsche has got better fuel mileage than other cars out there. What is this with Glenn Crellin? And that there, I believe, was Jacob Hughes, who was trying to lap him. What was that?
It's one of those buy you a Christmas card moments in the garage, isn't it, later on?
I mean, so Jacob's giving him plenty of warning. He gives him a little tap on the way through, and then Glenn just turns straight into him.
Oh, drivers, be careful. You've got Hamish upset here.
Glenn's going to have answering to do with that from race control. I don't agree with Jacob giving him a little tap. Obviously, he's a blue flag car. But for Jacob to try, he has to try and get past cleanly. But that's not on for Glenn Crellin to do that. That is not on at all. He could have ruined Jacob Hughes' whole race then. Mm-hmm. That's not how you want to go racing. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is.
Kane Ryder, my friend, on the back there of Jesse. Jesse's up 12. Kane's down a couple, but remember, Kane has taken a pit stop.
He has. So to really fill in the story of this strategy here, so during that pit stop period under the safety car, Daniel Piper was able to go for an extra full push lap because the safety car didn't actually pick up the race leader during that whole kerfuffle. So for Piper, he was able to go an extra lap, which meant he was able to come in on lap 10. That has given him a great advantage over Kane Ryder, because Ryder came out of pit lane on lap 9, was caught behind traffic, and wasn't able to push on at full speed where Piper was. So it meant that for Daniel Piper, he's actually now the corrected race leader in this thing if we don't get another safety car, because for Webber, Nguyen, Atkins, they have not pitted under that first safety car period. They're banking on us getting more safety cars here in the final 30 minutes or final 25 minutes of this race now. If they don't get one within the next 15 minutes, they're going to have to commit to a pit stop, which will be a green flag pit stop, which is going to drop them right down the order in the field, and it's going to give Daniel Piper the race lead. It's going to give Kane Ryder P2, and at this stage, Bradley Hudswell's learned from his mistakes in race 1, Dean. It's going to give him P3 as he pitted on lap 9 as well.
He called it, my friend. Kane Ryder at the moment up to P6. So the battles behind him are resuming between the B&B show, the Brady and Jesse, and it's still law firm at the moment. Bradley, Jesse, and Bobby, and Daniel. Yeah. Get to all that one sentence.
We have now as well had our timing reloaded, and I think that has actually finally figured out the issues that we were having. So that should all be up to date now and following along nicely. Matt Crozier has had to come into pit lane, by the way. He didn't pit under that safety car, so he's had to commit to a stop now as McMenamin off the back of a slowdown penalty. Gavin Simpson as well. He's also got one back in P18 as more cars are track extending just that little bit too much, including Owen Coleman, as well as Brendan, not Brendan Purcell, John Akers, and as well as Tristan McLaren, and now Alfonso Latea as well. So more pressure being applied to these drivers tonight. And they are doing such a good job tonight, Dean, of just mitigating the traffic, learning from race 1, putting themselves in a positive position. But unfortunately for those guys that haven't pit, I don't think they're going to get the saving grace of the safety car that they were hoping for. And ultimately, off of the 25 to 30 second drop they're going to have coming out of pit lane, Matt Webber more than likely is going to be inside or just outside the top 15 when he comes out of pit road next time by, as McMenamin's in for his final stop of the race. So guys having to start pitting now because of the fuel limitations. And the first few cars that have come in have been a Porsche of Crozier, a Merc of McMenamin, and now an Acura of Rue Koistra, who again was trying to pull the risky game of trying to go a no-stop strategy here tonight.
And remember, it's green flag pit stop, so you're going to be all alone when you come out there, and you've got traffic everywhere. Trust me, that track map at the moment here in Adelaide is disastrous to try to find someone. Look at Kane Road at the moment and the battle of Daniel Piper. That's a McLaren versus the Lamborghini, and that's what he's going to try to do. He's going to sit there and go, oh, I've got time. I mean, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. He wants the third. Bang, and the inside, that's all you have to do, isn't it? Get the toe, get the corner, Bob's your uncle, done.
There's been a massive moment down at turn 10, by the way, with Nick Schmalenberg and Stefan Mellis, and it appears that Nick has gone back to his old ways of the Schmalen bombers, where he's absolutely dive-bombed.
Never heard that.
Stefan Mellis down here, it's old SRW SFL jokes there for you. But down the inside of Stefan Mellis, and it's just absolutely served him down at turn 10. So I think Nick may have something coming his way from race control for that one, but we'll give you the update as we get them from them as well. This stage, Dale Atkins leads for the Challenger class up in P3 overall, doing an incredible job here tonight. There's been a comms warning violation for a post-race investigation towards Glenn Krellin off this race as well. Comms violations. He's done something wrong over the comms.
Oh, he said something
race control and admin are going to have to review it. Quite possibly, yes. So race control are hard at work tonight, trying to get all these penalties out as quick as possible. Give you the update here. So Jacob Hughes has gotten a time penalty off the back of contact with Milan Peyrick. So that's 15 seconds. Matt Webber's been given a 5-second penalty for passing during the safety car period as well as some other time penalties. Rui Koistra got one for the contact with DeBetta earlier in the race. As battles continue on, he does. But Luke King is, Bradley getting past Daniel Piper there. Daniel's not happy. So Ryder and Hudswell, who've both pitted, have now made corrected order moves to get into P2 and P1, and Piper was not happy with them. He gave them his thoughts via the flash button, but he's going to have to race them for position now.
Yeah, and Daniel has gone a pit stop. Fastest third sector as well too was Bradley once he passed him.
Yep.
So Bradley's he's on the hunt.
Oh,
Whoa!
there's a car parked there.
Who's that?
That's one of the Mercs. That was one of the Mercs. That's Tristan McLaren.
Wow.
Who's had this moment down at turn 1 and turn 2. So he's come out of pit lane down here. And remembering we said it comes out right on the racing line, comes through turn 1 and turn 2, and just loses. Oh my God.
Oh.
Wait, did he hook that thing up, or is he had... It's to the left, so we could suspect a steering failure. So let's try and watch this back. On board with him through turn 1.
So he's gone into the regular...
Oh, he just lit it up. He lost it. He lit up the rears and lost it through turn 1. So that's a real shot. He took tyres.
Thanks for catching that one.
That's
He's Kane Ryder on the moment. P3, job done. Lick the stamp and send it.
Yep, got past Atkins.
He's on the hunt, my friend.
He is. He's on the hunt. He wants that.
And he's already
third
taken
win
his
of the
pit
season.
stop. Look at that.
He has
taken his pit stop.
So these guys are having a fuel save. He's able to go full push. Nguyen's last lap, 121.72. Webber's a 120.18. So they're in maximum fuel save mode right now to try and get those cars home with 18 minutes left on the clock. But if they're fuel saving now, I don't think they can make it. Jesse Butler, Jason Adams into pit lane for their first stop of race 2. And for Ryder, he looks to try and take his third race win out of 3 this season.
I'll tell you what, mate, if you're a gambling man, and if you want to gamble, that's fine, as long as it's not with money or anything that's going to lose you anything. Just gamble with like, hey, mate, I'll tell you what, right now, I'll gamble with you, Hamish, for nothing.
I think Matt Webber's just dropped out. Matt Webber, the race leader, has had a moment. He hasn't dropped out, but he's had a moment, and he's actually dropped positions.
See if we can find that picture, my friend, because that'll be very interesting, because there's too much action on the screen there, though. We'll just live in the past.
Oh, I found it. So he's overextended turn 4. Oh, no, that's turn 6. So he's come through turn 4 and turn 6, or turn 5.
He was leading.
He tried to go through turn 6, and he's overextended. That's dropped him massive positions, and now he's going to drop even more after the pit stop. So there's a bit of smoke off the road, and that was Daniel McCrowan. Daniel McCrowan, a Team Max Boost, is off.
Wow.
Down at turn 12. What is happening in this race? Luke King into pit lane now. That's Greg Barber coming past McCrowan down there. It's all happening. And McCrowan's missing that rear wing. That thing's not going to have any downforce whatsoever. He needs to bring that thing into pit lane.
Yep. He missed it, but you got to go another lap.
Yep. And Barbs will know the sort of requirements for downforce on mid-engine and rear-engine cars, and he may just hang back here in the hopes that McCrowan will bring it into pit lane, because that thing is not going to handle well without a rear wing forcing downforce on those rear wheels. All the weight's in the back of that car, remember. It's a heavy requirement for the rear wing and rear downforce of these things to keep them on the road and on the straight and narrow as well. For Bradley Hudswell, though, P3 overall right now. He's corrected P2 as we await Vinny Nguyen, the new race leader, to come into pit lane for his first stop of the race, and he's got a 7.5 second gap back to Ryder.
Oh.
It's not going to be enough to hold him off, and he's not going to get this car home.
His drivers are battling at the moment there, John and Matty. You saw that, what happened with Matt? Is he under big trouble? He's under big trouble. Absolutely. Yeah. Look at him right now. His drivers are going to gobble him up.
Yeah, massive pressure from the likes of John Trott.
Matt's gone in.
Well.
He had to go.
Yeah, Matt's in. So that's allowed Trott and Chapman through. Camo's in as well. McCrowan in to fix that rear wing. That's going to drop him down the championship standings after tonight's race as well, with only 15 minutes left on the clock. So there are currently 3 cars who have not pitted in this race. Nguyen, Atkins, and Gavin Simpson at this point. Michael Cullen last came in on lap 2, and Braden O'Loughlin last came in on lap 3. So those guys likely will need another stop to get those cars home as well. McCrowan's come out P23, Webber's come out P22 after their stops. So Nguyen should come out around about the back end of the top 15, as Piper's now gotten by Dale Atkins.
Don't go there!
Oh, not at the king! Not at the king, Chapo! Oh, is it going to be a late dive at 10? No, he can't quite get there under brakes on Trott. As this battle continues on, And it's all for P6 on the road. Corrected order, though. This is the battle for P4.
Code Brown. Code Brown. Code Brown. Code Brown.
New ends in. So race leader is in. Kane Ryder now takes the race lead with 1.6 seconds the gap back to Bradley Hudswell. Atkins in as well, so green flag stops. Where's it going to drop them? We've predicted it's going to be roughly the back end of the top 15. New ends out after 13 seconds, so obviously smart enough not to take tyres. What about Dale Atkins? He's still in the race lead of the Challenger class, by the way, but Purcell is about to scream by him to take the Challenger class win, or at least the race lead at this point in time. He won't be winning it just yet, but he is P13. Fritz comes past. Atkins is out. P3 in class. So actually not too bad of a loss for that risky business sort of strategy here tonight for the Whiskey Business driver.
This is all heating up, my friend. It's all heating up. There it is back there. You mentioned with Dale and Luke and Bobby. That's where it's at. Further back there. That's 16th and 17th. Of course, we got a lot of drivers that haven't made pit stops yet. Up at here, this is the hot zone. Kane just at the fastest lap of anybody. Still, yet to come down again, but you don't need to remind Kane.
He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to, though. He's already pitted. He pitted on lap 9. Everyone has taken at least one pit stop in this race, but there are drivers who pitted before lap 9 that I don't think can make it, so they will need another stop. You know, those guys who pit on lap 3 or lap 2, they're more than likely going to need that second stop to get home. I think everyone else, though, can make it on their fuel at this point, including Kane Ryder, our race leader, at this point in time. As we ride on board with the RER car at this stage, inside the top 10 of Kurt Chapman, with John Trott hot on his heels. He continues to push on right now and continues to withstand the pressure. It's been a breakout night for Kurt Chapman. He's got P3 Daniel Piper 4 seconds up the road from him at this stage. Top 2 are separated by just over a second, but a further 6 seconds back to Daniel Piper in P3. The Piper may be locked into third place at this point in time, Dean, but there's still plenty of racing to happen across the final 11 and a half minutes here at Adelaide.
Looking forward to it. I hope everybody is enjoying themselves. Make sure you do hit that like button if you is enjoying this one. That's not very good grammar on that one. But here's Brock, Owen. This is battling for sheep stations further back here in P6 and 7 at the moment there. 19 positions for Owen Coleman. That's not bad. I'd take that one any day of the week. You can get yourself in the top 10. There it is. So
well, it's a great effort after what was... So Brock Kadai into pit lane. So I just want to see here if he's actually had a penalty and that's why he's in.
I don't think so. I think it's just
he hasn't.
Schedule.
So this might actually be a stop. So is there now onus on those Mustangs that pitted on lap 9? Do they need another stop? Because this may give a bit more, put a bit more pressure now on some drivers out there, including Trott and Owen Coleman, inside the top 10 if they need another stop here in this race. Nguyen's remaining in the top 15 here. He's just in behind Milan Payrak. Just ahead of Scott Rankin as well. He's up 31 positions in this race. Has managed not to put this car on the wall here in race 2. So Scotty's doing a good job here for Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport in this race, but he has currently got a slowdown on board that car. Kane Ryder, though, continues to extend his lead. New fastest lap of the race, 118.03. Wow. So we're yet to see the 17. So it's the never seen 17 under racing conditions just yet. But the cars and the track is getting faster the later that we get into this race. As the sun will begin to settle behind the clouds, it's a big dive.
Here's Milan, the biggest gainer in the race too, mate. Look at that.
Yep.
He's up 36 places. It's just driving that BMW like it's a Sunday, you know, driving Miss Daisy around a racetrack on a Sunday evening. Fantastic.
So for those that are continuing to push on, we have got 10 minutes left in this race. 10 minutes for Kane Ryder to survive. Invincible this season. With pole position in race 1 tonight, went on to win the race. That gave him pole position for race 2.
He needs Will Buxton to go, will he survive the race of Drive to Survive? Here.
There you go. Yeah, you know, to make a corner cleanly, you have to apply apply the brakes.
Apply the brakes. Exactly.
And turn the steering wheel. And then to get out of the corner, you have to lift off the brakes and apply the throttle.
The throttle.
And straighten
There you
the
go.
wheel.
So it's a first here on the Premier Endurance League there for the Dash Offroad GT3 series, and Will Buxton has made an appearance there, courtesy of Hamish. Thank you very much there. As Kane Ryder is dominating, absolutely dominating.
Absolutely dominating.
Ultimately,
only
but John
pure
Trott.
dominance at this point. So John Trott's in. So as we said, we suspected the Mustangs were needing to come in again, and this answers that question. So does Coleman need another stop now in this race as well? Akers is having to take another stop on board that Porsche. So the different fuel offsets for some cars will mean that maybe some of them can't make it here tonight on this one stop after the lap 9 pit stop here. Does it mean that Piper can make it on a lap 10 stop? Does it mean that Vinny Nguyen is still corrected race leader after coming in on lap 32 and making it on a one-stop strategy? What about Scott Rankin? He pit on lap 11. Could he get a podium here tonight? It's all happening here for Premier Endurance League Dash Offroad GT3 Limited Series. And for Kane Ryder, he is hoping and praying this Lamborghini can make it to the end. And the other question that we have to ask is, we asked it in race 1, Dean, what happens if there's overtime? What happens? What happens if they can't make it on fuel?
You're like dramatizing a script, aren't you? On
Yes.
a race that could be. I mean, Kane doesn't want that. He's up the road.
He doesn't want it.
No.
You know what, though?
He just wants to drive home. But
You know what I want?
what?
I want it.
You want it? Okay. Do you want it? In the
It'll
chat?
make it interesting.
I mean, is it a fan
It'll make it
boost?
interesting.
Can we have a fan boost?
It'll give us a little spanner in the works.
Yeah.
It'll make it harder for him. It'll really not that he hasn't earned it. He's really earned it tonight. He has seriously been fantastic. As Milan Payrak is into pit lane. But think about the spanner in the works it would throw if some of those front runners had to come in, as Payrak has a black flag on his entry into pit lane. So someone's been speeding, or someone has found themselves speeding in pit lane or an unsafe entry as well. Glenn Crellin's been disqualified, by the way, for towing without approval from race control. Gavin Simpson's been given a drive-through penalty for doing the same thing on his first account here tonight. So there's been some naughty drivers on track this evening, but race control have been all over them, handing out penalties left, right, and centre, and really to say to them, hey, you're not bigger than this. You're not bigger than the law. You're not bigger than the rules. Get back in line and keep yourself tidy.
I thought the law number 1. That's what they were saying.
That's right. So Brendan Purcell, who we suspected was going to get the race win in race 1 tonight, didn't quite get there after Dale Atkins pulled off a miraculous strategy to get his car home into P1 for the Challenger class. Race 2 right now, is it Brendan Purcell's to win? We've already seen a couple of the Porsches come through pit lane after they pitted on lap 9 and they needed a second stop to get these cars home. Is it gonna be the same for Brendan Purcell? Is it gonna be the same for Daniel Fritz in the BMW for Velocity Sim Labs in behind him? We have got 5 minutes on the clock to find out what is going to happen, as there's a big wreck.
There's your answer.
That's a big wreck down there at turn 1.
Keep an eye on that one, my
That
friend.
was John Trott. That was John Trott in the Mustang for One Performance Racing. And the one thing that he's thinking about right now, he's off the racing line, but the one thing he's thinking right now is why? How has this happened? He was fighting away with traffic inside of the top 15. He's lost the rears on entry, hit the chicane, off it went, and Brock Kadai, nowhere to go, straight in the front of him. Damn. A couple of Mustangs have had a little kiss down there. What a shame for John Trott after a fantastic run here tonight.
They don't get a buff out too easy, my friend, and to be sitting back with his helmet definitely closed on his visor, not wanting to talk to the press or nobody. He wants to go straight to the back of the garage and sit down there and contemplate what just happened. You'll look at those replays later on.
Daniel Piper, Kurt Chapman continue their battle here for P3 overall tonight. Chapo's already got the podium in race 1. He wants to make it 2 from 2 on the streets of Adelaide. This is the AITX Revolution e-racing driver. He's had a breakout performance here on the streets of Adelaide tonight. And he wants another podium. That was another car off the road back there. Who was that?
I think that might have been a back marker just getting out of the way, my friend. But he's like daylight dollar short, big time.
Well, we've had a moment with Stefan Mellis.
Kirk's still going for Daniel.
Oh, it was Stefan. It was Stefan Mellis getting out of their way. So he was doing the right thing and trying to avoid the front runners who were battling. So that was fair play there for Stefan Mellis. Andrew Neal as well has had a moment down at turn 10, it seems, after the kink. So he's just really having an awkward moment down here. Pulls right back on the racing line ahead of some fast traffic of Bradley Hudswell, and then eventually moves out of the way. So that's what's happening down there.
We got pissed off for Owen.
Pit lane now.
Yeah.
So we said about the Mustang, it is a fuel guzzler. Drinks it very, very quickly, does the Mustang, but unfortunately, American V8 with 100% power and 100% fuel usage as well. That's Brent Tucker. That is Brent Tucker off the road down at turn 1-2 as well. So it's claiming more late race victims here tonight. 57 minutes has been done and dusted. 3 on the clock. Couple of laps left to go here on the streets of Adelaide. It's the rear end that's gone round for Tucker down there, as that's how he has ended up in the wall. For Kane Ryder, though, can the Lamborghini make it? Can he withstand the pressure? This was the moment for Tucker, by the way, down at turn 1-2. He rides the curb on entry, and the rear end comes round and says a swift hello to Brent Tucker.
Oh, you lost it in the entry too.
Yeah, he did. He tried to do a little inertia drift for us there on the entry, and it just hasn't paid off.
Good catch on that.
And think about the sort of pressure that's going to be on Kane Ryder if he needs to bring this car in pit lane. We've got 2 minutes on the clock. Guess what that means, Dean?
Box or not box?
Overtime.
Oh.
Overtime. 2 minutes left on the clock as Kane Ryder has just begun lap 42. And we are going to get an overtime race here tonight. We're going to go 43 laps.
Greg
on the
Barber's
streets
in.
of Adelaide. Greg Barber in the Porsche.
They might not be able to go the distance, my
So,
friend.
does Ryder have enough fuel on board this Lamborghini to make a 43rd lap?
Ooh.
Or is he going to have to pit again? This is going to be absolute fireworks.
He's not driving like,
He's not. He's pushing.
Tesla
He's pushing the car.
Kramer, isn't it? Cosmo Kramer, and trying to stretch that fuel out. How far can that ego in your
well,
gas
he's
tank,
definitely not racing for tossed salads and scrambled eggs right now. There's a Frasier reference for you. Never thought I'd get one of those out.
There you go.
For Kane Ryder, he is going to come past pit entry, and he is going to commit to the white flag lap. 1 to go. So he believes he's got enough.
Now. He can't box now.
He can't box. He can't. This is the final lap of the race. So he is committing to 1 more lap of Adelaide Street Circuit. He's committing to the Lamborghini, making it to the end of this one. With Bradley Hudswell 5 seconds from his tail. Piper 10.5 seconds from his tail. But with Kurt Chapman all over him through turn 1, 2, and 3. So this is the tightest battle on the track in terms of top level position. As Chapman goes up the inside of Piper. Down to the end of the staircase. But Piper on his inside of the next corner. It's hotly contested on the white flag. As Piper holds position and Chapman goes round, breaking the heart of AITX Revolution e-racing fans. Mason goes through. Is Nguyen going to go through as well? Chapo's just gotten going again. And for Piper, he's gotten away with P3 at this stage. But for Kane Ryder, invincible this season. Pole position here in race 1 this evening. Race win in race 1 as well. Pole position in race 2. And as he comes round the corner, it's 2 from 2 in Adelaide, and it's 3 from 3 in the season. Kane Ryder, 3 in a row. Race wins in Premier Endurance League. Hudswell will come home in P2. Piper will come home in P3 when they inevitably make the line. And for Brendan Purcell, back in the Challenger class, it's making up for what he missed out upon in race 1. As he comes around turn 10 on board the Porsche, up towards the final few corners through turn 11, and then through 12 to 13 and 14 he drives. For Purcell Racing, this is a breakout performance. For Brendan, it's a great performance as well in the 444 Porsche as he comes up to the line. Guess what, Challenger class? 3 different race winners in 3 different races as Purcell takes the win in race 2. Fritz will come home with barely any fuel on board that BMW in P2, with Dale Atkins doubling up on his podiums tonight, getting 2nd place for the round after a 3rd place in race 2 and a 1st place in race 1 as part of the Challenger class as well. Congratulations to the drivers on an ultimate performance here tonight at Adelaide Street Circuit. And for Kane Ryder, it is Mr. Perfect this season. The Ghost Rider himself has thrown a chain at the field and he's pulled himself 3 race wins from 3. He did it first back at Bathurst, and tonight he's done the double at Adelaide. Race win for Kane Ryder ahead of Bradley Hudswell and Daniel Piper on the podium here this evening. Scott Rankin with the Hard Charger Award here tonight as well, up 36 positions for Orbit Drop Bear Motorsports. Matt Webber led for 21 laps of this race, with Kane Ryder having the fastest lap as well. We never saw the 17, so we only got down to a very low 118.025. It was then James Mason, Kurt Chapman for the top 5 to Vinnie Nguyen and Scotty Rankin, with Owen Coleman finishing right ahead of the Challenger class race winner in Brendan Purcell. Bobby Camo then made up our top 10. We found Daniel McCrowan, Daniel Fritz ahead of Jesse Butler, Greg Barber, Luke King, the top 15, John Akers, Jason Adams, Dale Atkins, Jesse McMenamin and Matt Webber making up the top 20 here tonight for Adelaide Street Circuit. A big shout out, of course, to this series sponsors, the title sponsors, of course, Dash Offroad 4x4 parts and accessories store as well. You can head on over to www.dashoffroad.com.au. To the safety car sponsor, we saw the safety car 3 times tonight, brought to you by Sud Speed Gloves. Appreciations to the premium sim racing gloves for sim racers made by sim racers. Head over to www.sudspeed.com. To Kibby Graphics as well, head over to kibbygraphics.com.au, as well as the Sim Racing in Focus podcast. Head on over to facebook.com/Sim Racing in Focus, or find them at your regular podcast outlets, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube as well for the video variant, as we prepare ourselves for the race interviews here tonight with our race winners for the Elite class and the Challenger class as well. We'll begin the night with the overall race winner and the winner of the Elite class across both races. It is Mr. Invincible, Kane Ryder. Kane, welcome in. 3 from 3 this season. You did the double at Adelaide here tonight. It might be time to maybe celebrate the win, possibly with a local Barossa Valley little Cabernet or something alongside it, just to get a real taste for the Adelaide Hills out there, as you've become the master of the street circuit here this season. Congratulations on the race win.
Yeah, cheers, mate. It was that last race there was just all about fuel management then. So big fuel saving there when we had to pit slightly earlier than what we wanted, but worked out all right. Had half a lap of fuel left, so did it perfect.
Well, worked out well for you across both races here this evening. Of course, 2 wins, 2 pole positions, obviously, as well, off the back of that too. We head out April 12th to Road America in a few weeks' time. What are you going to be able to take out of the first 2 rounds this season, from the first 2-hour race at Bathurst into the sprint round at Adelaide tonight? What are you going to take out of both races heading over to Road America in a few weeks' time for our next 2-hour event of the year out there in Wisconsin?
Obviously, a lot of confidence. I mean, like, always been at the pointy end at this league, so I mean that's always good going forward. So yeah, just more of the same. Hopefully, me and Dan can hopefully be at the pointy end and help each other. So, but yeah, haven't done a lot of Road Americas, so we'll see how we go.
Now, you mentioned Dan, tough night for him tonight, couple of moments out there, including a drive-through as well. Has that dropped some of his confidence going forward into Road America next week, or do you think he'll be able to dust himself off over the next few weeks, get himself prepped, and maybe try and get a strong run alongside you out there for the next round here of the Limited Series?
Nah, Dan's pretty experienced. He'll be able to shake that off pretty easy. I mean, yeah, he was just unlucky, I thought. So, and look, Adelaide throws up these curveballs, you know, like half the time you're wondering if the guy in front of you is serving a slowdown. So you're thinking, should I really put it up the inside here? And so, he just, I think he was a bit stiff, but, that's the way it is.
Well, Adelaide is the ultimate server of spanners in the works, and the streets of Adelaide have paid you kindly this evening with 2 race wins. You're perfect on points this season now in terms of points taken away from positions here this season. We'll see if you can make it 4 from 4 at Road America. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to, though, Kane, before we let you go here this evening?
Just obviously the team at Max Boost and Seb Eskandari. He's my little engineer, so he does a great job. And just obviously Dan, doing all the practice through the weeks leading up to it. It's always good to have someone who's pushes you to go quicker.
Well, Kane, we appreciate your time coming over chatting to us here this evening. Best of luck at Road America on April 12th. We look forward to seeing how you go next time out here in the PEL GT3 Limited Series brought to you by Dash Off-Road. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Thanks so much. Next up, we have our Challenger class race winner here this evening as well in Brendan Purcell, who had a great run in race 2, P2 in race 1. It's going to give you the round win here tonight for the Challenger class, Brendan. Congratulations on that fact. It was pole position in race 1 by quite a fair margin, but a lucky little strategy play from Dale took away the race win in race 1 for you, but race 2 you managed to maximise, managed to keep it clean, and you got yourself a win in the end there. How was that one for you on the streets of Adelaide?
Yeah, no, it was real good. I had a lot of fun. Probably mucked the first one up a bit. I should have pitted when that first safety car come, but I never. And the next one, I sort of run the gauntlet and only had 1.8 left with that last lap to go. Leaders left, but yeah, no, we got there, so it was good.
Well, obviously, your car looked really, really solid on the road tonight, nice and tidy from the setup. Was it feeling like that for you inside the car as well, based on how it looked on the outside?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've been using those Go setups, and I've been practicing all week, and I felt good and felt very confident, and it was good. Good race.
Now, obviously, in between races this season, obviously we went from Bathurst into then the 12-hour and now into Adelaide tonight as well. How has the recent balance of performance changed this car? And obviously, before we get to the next round of Road America, it's going to change again for Sebring. How's that changed this car coming into tonight's event? And how do you think it might fare when it comes to getting a change in balance of performance heading into Sebring in a few weeks' time for the iRacing official event?
Yeah, I think Sebring will be all right for it. Look, I picked the Porsche and we drove it in the Bathurst 12-hour too, and so I'm sort of getting used to it. I'm just going to keep driving it. I nearly was going to pick the McLaren, but I decided with the Porsche, and I'm happy I did.
Well, mate, it's worked out spectacular for you here tonight at Adelaide. Road America next time out. We look forward to seeing how you go, and hopefully there's some things you've learned across the first 2 rounds you're able to apply to the next round as well. But is there anyone you want to give a shout out to this evening, Brendan, before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the league for putting this on and giving us a good time, and it's run very well. And I'd also like to thank a couple of the boys from the team that I'm in, that they've helped me a lot with my driving, and it's good.
Well, Brendan, we appreciate your time and come and have a chat to us. Best of luck at Road America on April 12th when we're next running here in the Limited Series, and congratulations on your race win in race 2 and P2 in race 1 that's netted you the round win here this evening for the Challenger class. Congratulations.
Yep, thanks very much, boys.
Thanks so much. Next up, we have P2 for the elite class here this evening in Bradley Hudswell, who's waiting in the in the green room currently. Brad, welcome in. Congratulations. P2 on the road tonight. We saw you really push the envelope in race 1, not pitting until the final 10 minutes in the race. Were you hoping for that third safety car that might have saved you to get to the end, or was it ultimately you were trying to test the limitations to see what could happen in race 2?
Thank you. No, I was just honestly just trying to see if I could get another safety car to get me to the end, honestly.
Well, you drove very well, obviously, in race 1, kept yourself clean, had good pace. You weren't showing us, though, any fuel saving across that one, though, in race 2, based on your lap times, although were you fuel saving throughout that one in race 1? Because the lap times were not providing us the information that you were. You were setting fastest lap after fastest lap out there.
No, I was just going flat out, honestly. I don't really know how to fuel save that well, so just flat out.
Well, race 2, obviously, a little fight through the field, got yourself up the order into P2 tonight. What are you able to take off for tonight's race and that you can apply in the next one when we head out to Road America in a few weeks' time?
It's going to be pretty tricky because I think the Audi doesn't really have any straight line speed. I noticed that the Porsche is really quick in a straight line and the Mustang, so I just couldn't get off the corner quick enough to get past people. So that it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but it was good fun. I had a blast.
I'll be honest with you, probably not the best car then for the next 3 rounds when we're at Road America, Le Mans, and then Spa. At the end of the season, do you think there's going to be any way you can set up around that to maybe try and limit the straight line speed issues for yourself?
Not too sure, to be honest. Look, I just wanted to go for a car that I didn't think anyone else would choose and give the Audi a little bit of love. So
you know what? Fair play. I love seeing the Audi on track, and I tip my hat to you for running the Audi, because I think it's a car that a lot more people should be willing to run, because we don't get to see it in real life. We don't get to see it in special events. So to see it in a GT3 league is fantastic. So hats off to you.
thank you very much. Yeah, it's a good car to drive. I get along with it well.
Well, Bradley, congratulations on P2 here tonight in the feature race. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Nah. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Matt Crozier and Jason Adams.
Well, we appreciate you coming over to chat to us, Brad. Best of luck at Road America. We'll see if you can sort out those straight line speed issues before the next race, or even if it's going to be a major factor for you in determining if you can get a podium or not. But hopefully, for your sake, you can get a podium out there and get this Audi back up to the front end of town. Congratulations on the success here tonight in race 2.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks so much. And finally, here this evening, our Challenger Class P2 on the road. It was, of course, Daniel Fritz for Velocity Sim Labs here this evening. Daniel, welcome in. Congratulations. A fantastic effort tonight on board this. Actually, it looks like you've got. Are you running for Velocity Sim Lab this season, Daniel, or are you running for? No, it is Velocity. That is the Velocity car, is it not?
No, I'd say one of my own Whiskey Runners Racing. I mustn't have just updated the app that has the team.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, that sorts then. Okay. So for Whiskey Runners Racing, well, Daniel, a great run tonight here at Adelaide. How did you find it on the streets of Adelaide throughout the 2 60-minute races, and how did you find the format tonight? I think from our perspective, it was actually pretty cool to go racing, twice over in GT3 cars, and I'm kind of hoping we do it again next season, and maybe even try and figure out another little format we can maybe introduce next season. But how did you find it out on the road tonight?
First of all, I want to apologise to Pete Baxter. I gave him a massive nudge lap 1 of race 1. But yeah, no, the format was really good. It's just Adelaide's very tight, and 50-odd cars just isn't the greatest. But no, it was great. I hope we do this format more often. It was something different, and if you messed up in race 1, you sort of had that second option.
Now, obviously, heading into Road America next time out, is there anything that you've kind of gathered, whether it's data or whether it's how you found the car to be handling across Bathurst in round 1, then obviously through the 12-hour in between, and then through Adelaide tonight as well, that maybe you can apply next time out at Road America that might find yourself higher up the order or staying up and around the podium area for the Challenger class?
Mainly it's just been getting used to the weight distribution of the car, and that last half of the race was sort of running to a fuel number. So that's sort of been the biggest learning curve, is how to save fuel but still be fast.
Well, I think that, Road America is probably going to be a good groundwork sort of track to try and figure that out throughout your practice leading up to that track. I mean, it's obviously a lot of straight areas of the circuit, but then obviously around the midsection is more tighter, and then the back section is a lot more flowy. So I think across the next few weeks throughout your practice, you may find that this car might help teach you that a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, a phenomenal run here tonight. Aside from the incident with Pete, how was the racing out there for you? Because race 1 was particularly chaotic, and then there was sections of race 2 that were a little bit chaotic from our perspective, but it was definitely there was a lot more learning in between races for the drivers out there in the field. How was, though, the racing for you on board the car and battling amongst drivers? Was it a sense of you were willing to try and send it more in race 2 than race 1 because you knew that it was a continuous grid format, or was it vice versa? You were willing to try and push your way forward in race 1 more, knowing you get a better start position for race 2?
Race 1 was sort of just recovering, and then trying to not get taken out or hit a wall and damage the car. But then race 2, it was good because I was stuck. I sort of started up the front, so I was with some of the faster guys, and you could just follow them. And there wasn't many dive bombs. It was just sort of trying to stay off the walls.
Well, it was a fantastic effort for yourself tonight, Daniel. Congratulations on P2 in the Challenger class. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to here this evening before we let you go?
I just want to give a big shout out to Mark Sykes for chucking together the livery and the Next Gen Racing guys over in the UK.
Well, Daniel, appreciate your time here this evening. Best of luck at Road America on April 12th when we go racing once again. And congratulations on P2 in the Challenger class here this evening for the feature race out at Adelaide Street Circuit.
Yeah, thank you. Look forward to it.
No worries. Thanks so much. Daniel Fritz, P2 here this evening for the Challenger class. And, well, that'll bring an end to our show here this evening for Premier Endurance League. And we appreciate everybody's time joining us here this evening once again. And if you've joined us for the first time and you've been here for a little while, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified when we go racing right here with Premier Endurance League action. Coming up next on your docket for Premier Endurance League action, the GT3 Open Series will come your way to Adelaide Street Circuit for the second round of that season as they go racing on March 29th in only a few weeks' time. We're back again, though, with limited series action at Road America on April 12th for round 3 of the season before we head out to Le Mans and then Spa-Francorchamps at the end of the season out in May as well. A big shout out to the series sponsors, of course, the title sponsors Dash Offroad, 4x4 parts and accessories store. You can head on over to www.dashoffroad.com.au, check out some of the stuff they've got on offer there, and maybe buy yourself something cheeky for your four-wheel drive at home as well. To Sudspeed Gloves for supporting this safety car period. Well, we saw it 3 times this evening. You can head on over to www.sudspeed.com, buy some gloves, get yourself nice and protected, and also protect the Alcantara on your wheel. You don't want it flaking away with any grime off your hands and any sweat that can get in there as well. Protect yourself with some good Sudspeed gloves and protect your wheel and make it last a hell of a lot longer. The Kiwi Graphics as well. You can head over to kiwigraphics.com.au. Then get you sorted with branded clothing, car wraps, and commercial graphics as well. And to the Sim Racing in Focus podcast, you can find them over at facebook.com/Sim Racing in Focus, and listen to the latest episode on any podcast outlets, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube as well for the video variant of the podcast here. From myself, Hamish Monroe, and Dean Biggles alongside. Appreciate your time, appreciate your effort being here with us once again for the Premier Endurance League GT3 Limited Series, brought to you by Dash Offroad, 4x4 parts and accessories out at Adelaide Street Circuit right here in South Australia. We'll see you guys next time when we're heading into Cheese Country in Wisconsin at Road America for round 3. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.